to Coach Hayes Football Live. He can talk about anything from high school to the pros. This guy knows the game, so you better not be half-stepping.
I can guarantee you most of the audience is going to agree with me before they agree with you.
Strap in, because Coach Hayes is about to
crack your cranium and fertilize your brain. Go ahead and right here, right now.
Subscribe now and check out CoachHayesFootball.com.
What's up, everybody? Hey, welcome back to another episode of Coach Hayes Football Live. As I always say, before we go ahead and get started, I see you guys already in the comment section. Do me a quick favor. Make sure everything look good, everything sounds good. That way, if I need to make adjustments, I can. While we're doing that, make sure you share this out on a watch party somewhere on Facebook. Share it out to one of these groups because, trust me, the guest I have tonight, man, he's full of knowledge. He knows exactly what he's talking about, been in the game for years. So I'm excited to talk with him. We've had quite a few talkings off camera, about some other things, but this is my first time having him on the camera, and I'm super excited, especially for my followers and I hate to say followers, but for the people who watch, you know what I mean, to actually hear what he has to say about this, because he's been in the game for years and very influential, especially in the South Florida community when it comes to football, youth football, high school football, and even working his way through the Canes. So we're going to talk about all of that stuff. And we also going to talk about what the topic is, 707, the pros and cons of the game. That is a hot topic. It is right now. So like I said, we're going to get a couple of people here in the chat. Let me see if I can get a thumbs up real quick from everybody, anybody in there that says everything looks good and sounds good, so we can go ahead and get this thing rolling. Let me see here. Wade Penson says, Coach, what's up? What's up with you, Wade? There we go. The first lady through the smoke. Hey, Chanel in the building. Good evening. What's up with you? Let me see. My nephew, 2-year-old, heard the intro and came busting in to watch. He knows the deal. That's what I'm talking about. Hey, Chanel in the building. And Demetrius Abrams says, what's up, Coach Hayes? You doing all right? Yeah, I'm doing great. So let's go ahead and jump into this thing. I'm going to call him the young man. The young man I have today, the guest that I have today, man, Streeter from Footballville. And if you don't know what Footballville is, you living under a rock. I got to tell you that straight up. Before I even started doing my whole YouTube thing, I've been following him and all of the things he's been doing, especially when it came to some of the big-time youth programs there in South Florida, as well as high school, talking about recruits and everything else. So I'm gonna let him introduce himself, because the Lord knows I don't want to leave anything out, so I don't want him to be mad. But before I do, real quick, big shout out to a longtime supporter in Chug More Beer with a $10 donation. Coach Hayes, I mean 10K plus. Let's go Canes. Hey, real quick, for you guys that don't know, if you're just watching this, I made a deal with my subscribers. I said, if we get to 10K before the 1-year anniversary, which is April 1st, Coach Hayes is going to run a 10K. Well, guess what? You guys did it. You got me past 10K. We already passed 10K, and April 1st is not even here. We still, we got about 2 weeks out. So the race is already on. It's going to be in May. All right, that's the next one. It's called Howie in the Hills up here in Claremont. They say it's a killer. So, and I'm going live. So that might be my last broadcast ever, guys, because they might have to roll me out of there on the gurney, man. But I don't want to belabor the point. But anyhow, let me go ahead and jump into this. Chug More Bill, thank you very much. I really appreciate it. Let's get this thing started. Streeter, what's up, man? How you doing today? Uh-oh, I'm sorry. Hold on. I had you on mute. I apologize. Go for it, Streeter. What's up?
What's going on, bro? You good?
I'm good to go, man. What's going on with you?
Chilling, man. Chilling, man. Getting ready for football start next week. We ain't no access no more, so ain't no access until COVID over with. So, man, they're going to have us Zooming again, man.
I got you, man. And you're right. Our beloved Canes, even though this is technically not the Canes show, but we still talk our Canes here and there. They start their spring ball next week. Right. So I'm excited about that. But I believe you told me earlier that we probably won't have access to that or anything. So we just have to take the coaches' words for it on what they're going to do, man.
I think the coaches love that, man. I think they love it, man.
Yeah, definitely, man. So let me go through this. Just to give yourself a quick background. Maybe people on here that don't know who you are, how you got started in this thing, what you do right now. What is Footballville? What is it?
You want the long version or the short version, man?
Well, listen, man. Hey, let me put it this way: the streaming paid for, so whatever you want.
No, listen, man. Footballville was started, man. I've always had a passion for football. It's crazy. I played basketball. You know what I'm saying? I played basketball in high school, 7 years of youth football. I played with number one team in the state in high school at New Orleans in '95. And I left and went off to the Marine Corps. Got homesick, got sick of looking at Chevy trucks and trees and mountains and stuff in North Carolina, and said, man, I'm going back home. And when I came back home, I had a newfound love for the culture, football. I could see the value. I couldn't see it before I left. You know what I'm saying? I could see it when I came back. So I had a few kids, and that's how I started, bro. I got into one day. I took my kids walking at the library. And forgot to tell my baby mama, hey, I'm going to pick the kids up, right? It's weird how this story started, right?
Okay, I'm listening.
And she called, you know what I'm saying? And then we went walking at the library, 183rd, we were exercise, and I get back, got about 30 phone calls, and it's her. She crying. She think I tried to take the kids. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Brother done reached out to me and stuff, and then when she got the kids back, bro, she took them. It was a court battle for the next 2 years. Wow. And what it was to keep, I'm sitting on the bed one day, man, and to keep from going crazy out of frustration, I was like, I read a lot of self-help books, and I said to myself, I was like, how can I turn this into a positive? In every negative, you got to find a positive, or you end up slitting your wrist or some crazy mess like that. You know what I'm saying? So I was trying to figure out how could I flip it? How could I flip this into a positive? YouTube was new. We didn't know what it was. I was like, man, I'm gonna start going to record youth football games and give people more youth football games. Because I always felt if you was at your son game, you never got to see your cousin play. So I started I was a correction officer for the county. I would get off work at 6 o'clock in the morning and go record. I would hit, man, maybe 6-7 games a weekend and give people more games to watch. And I realized that there was a lane for it. There was a market for youth football. People wanted to see it. And that's how it started. It started from youth football. It went on to high school football. Then we got credentialed with the Miami Hurricanes. Now we got the show. But it all started from something negative, bro. Me trying to find something to do with my time. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah.
That's huge, man. So as you start recording that, I know you got a lot of, because you probably popped on the YouTube way before a lot of people did. And like I said, you got quite a few subscribers, man. I'm saying quite a few. We at the crib, so we love competition. So I'm on your heels, Streeter. I'm on your heels.
Listen, man, I done been passed by dudes, man. But beyond reality. I used to help them get into games, man. Them boys got 160,000 subscribers. They high school kids. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
Yeah. I see it. You got to understand the way I see it. I see it as a broad thing. I see it as, we've talked before. We've had a conversation
sure.
about the social medias, and all of them, each one of them have their part. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Right. But you coming, bro. I see you, man. You running fast too, man.
Hey, them subscribers moving faster than I'm going to run at 10K. I promise you that, boy.
You made that too easy, man. You made that too easy.
Hey, listen, boy. Hey, I'm trying to tell you, man. Yeah. Hey, today, and a big shout out to all the teachers in Florida, man. We're getting ready to go on spring break. If you're in Orange County, spring break started today. And so we had a little basketball game against the students. Man, look here, man. I was looking for the doggone defibrillator that street. I thought I was out of there, man. Man, young boy. Hey, thank God.
Running with them young boys.
Hey, thank God I had a mask on, right? So they couldn't see how hard I was breathing, right? I'm over there dying. But anyway, let's jump into this thing, man. So now, like I said, you do a show right now with Footballville slash Caneville. So what's the difference between the two?
Well, Caneville, I started, man, because I was like, when I first started business, man, it was like Footballville. I wanted to put Footballville on everything. And as I become more smarter, I was like, listen, man, you can create different lanes. Different avenues, you know what I'm saying? You create different lanes, different avenues. So I started Caneville. I started Caneville, and that's when we became credentialed with the Canes. And it's the same. It's the same thing. It's under the umbrella of Footballville. You know what I'm saying? If you go to start searching, there's a bunch of villes out there. Some of them I ain't keep going. It's a Basketballville, a Soccerville, or
There you go. I love it. I love it. And like you said, I mean, we talk about this all the time. You basically creating more shows on your network, right?
Right.
Got you, man. So that's kind of what I do here, right? So I got Coach Hayes Football Live. Right. This is the show. Coach Hayes Football is the channel, right? As it is. And then on the channel, you have Coach Hayes Football Live as a show. Right. We got my Canes Talk Live. That's a show. WRE is a show. WRE Live. So yeah, man, I love it, man. And this man, you've helped me out quite a bit, I must say. And I just want to say, even publicly, man, thank you. I appreciate it. But
that's what it's all about, man. I look at it this way, man. I always said this, man. To all my, even under the radar out in California, listen, man. If you make it big, I know you. I can't call nobody at ESPN. You know what I'm saying? I can't call nobody at South Florida Sports Network. But I can call you. You feel me?
You can call me anytime, Street. You already know that. So let's jump into this thing, man. So even part of your Footballville. So the title of the show is 7-on-7, the pros and cons of the game. And I know you have a 7-on-7 entity, a part of Footballville, I guess. Right. Talk to us a little bit about that, and then we're going to jump into the pros and cons of the game.
Well, we have Make a Play 7-on-7, man. Is our own national tournament. We started it 3 years ago. This is the third year. Well, last year really don't count. Because of COVID, we got maybe 1-2 tournaments out. We started Make a Play 7-on-7. It's kind of in the image of Footballville. I have two other partners with me, Derek and Dixon. They do their part. They do what they do, the scheduling and stuff. But it was started out of Dixon was really big with South Florida Express. He started from the beginning. He was always in 7-on-7. And I got to a point with Footballville. I was like, okay, man, I branded it enough. It's time to create some things. It's time to create some other entities, things that kind of bring in revenues. So I reached out to Dixon. I was like, hey, man, let's do some camps. And he was like, nah, I think we should do 7-on-7, man. He gave me the pros and cons. So we did a tournament, man. The first tournament we had pretty good. It was a 15U tournament. And then the next year, we rolled it out. We had like a schedule, man. A schedule, maybe 6-7 tournaments across Florida. We planned to leave Florida, but then we were going to go to Vegas last year. Then we reeled it back. I forgot something happened. We reeled it back and then go to Vegas. And then this year I think we got maybe 5 more tournaments. We're in Fort Myers on March the 30th. We're going to Naples in April, on April the 10th. We have maybe 5 more tournaments left and a national championship where we partner with this company called The Event. But basically, Make a Play 7-on-7, it was started because we saw the influence of 7-on-7 and what 7-on-7 was. We saw it's coming. You could see it in California. They were ahead of us, and we were like, man, we're a mirror image of California. It's gonna blow up over here. So we just kind of jumped out ahead of it.
Gotcha, man. And so now this is your third year, even though I know you said the COVID year necessarily didn't count. But even now that COVID's still kind of going on, you say you got 6 more tournaments left?
We have maybe 5 more left. We got maybe we go to Naples, we go to Fort Myers, we go to Cocoa, and we got like 2 national championships left. All
right. So let me ask you this from a national championship standpoint. So I know you said going to Vegas, but do you guys play just guys within the state of Florida primarily, or do you got kind of just travel week in and week out to different states? Or do you guys come in, or what?
All of our events are in Florida. But the kind of how I always looked at it is that Florida, states like Florida, sometimes Georgia, Cali, Texas, they can bait other teams to come in from other places because they always want to come down here and they want to beat the top teams. So all of our events are in Florida this year, but we call it a national championship because anybody's like, if you come qualify, you're invited.
Gotcha.
You understand? So it has to start somewhere. That's you know what I'm saying? It starts somewhere, then it grows out there after you start branding it and getting the word out there.
I got you. Now let me ask you this: as from Footballville or Make a Play, is the event who puts it on, but you don't have a 7-on-7 team per se yourself?
No, No, we thought about it. We're thinking about branding some teams, sponsoring some teams, maybe putting some Make a Play uniforms on some teams. But we just thought that if we were to have a 7-on-7 team and they're playing in our tournament, then that'll be all the same way when Adidas have or when the Adidas have a tournament and if you're not an Adidas team or whatever, people think that Adidas gonna cheat for their Adidas teams. We didn't really want that to be involved.
I got you.
Right.
So so that's pretty good, man. So now, how do you qualify? And the reason I'm asking a lot of these questions because a lot of these things are going to pertain to when we get to the nuts and bolts of the topic. So now, how do you qualify to be in the make a play tournament?
You just sign up. You sign up, and if you win your division, this year you win your division, we give you a check. We kind of give you your entry fee back. In a big check, we take a picture of it, and you qualify to go to the national championship, which is in Cocoa.
In Cocoa, okay. So it's a playoff system type deal.
Yeah, well, basically, you come to a tournament, you win a tournament, and then at the end we say, hey. They won this tournament and they qualified to go to the national tournament, and you can see the big trophy, but you can just touch the big trophy. You can't really take that one home with you. You know what I'm saying? You take a picture with it, but that's what it'll be in the end.
I got you. That's awesome, man. And I'm glad you do that. So now let's jump to the nuts and bolts, right? Let's talk about some of the pros. And I know we did talk a little off camera prior to this stream.
Right.
What are the pros? And I'm gonna just say this for some of you guys that don't know this. Fortunately, I am a co-host at Varsity Sports Network for the Florida Gridiron Report, and so right now we're talking about different things, and this is kind of a follow up to that, and
right.
So if you guys definitely can check that out, go to varsitysportsnetwork.org, and you can click on it. You can see all of those. We actually in our 5th show coming up this next week. Wednesday will be our 6th show. So that'll be great. But since right now 707 is a hot topic and everything, what are some of the pros of 7-on-7 as you see it?
I think, you know what? I think the main pro of any activity, man, because of a lot of times where these kids come from, the main reason is that they're not home. They're not home running in the streets, bro. While their mom at work or their dad not home, because these streets, some of the neighborhoods, some of the places these kids come from, man, aren't the best. So I think that's the main reason. Keeping them off the streets, showing them team building and stuff like that. Other than that, bro, listen. The competition, kids getting to travel around, because some of these kids, man, live in Miami, bro, never been to South Beach. You understand? So yeah, correct. Right, yeah, a lot of them.
Hey, straight up, people don't realize, man, when Rick Ross says it's 2 sides of the bridge, a lot of people outside don't understand what that means. Yeah. But it's equivalent everywhere. That's just like, people in New York don't hang out in Times Square. You know what I mean? Right here in Orlando, the locals do not hang out on I-Drive. Because that's the tourist attraction. They want to keep it that way. And so, I mean, yeah, it's a lot of guys who actually live literally right there in Overtown, right across the bridge, have never been.
Never went. Man, I remember one time I was down there in Overtown, basically not Liberty, like Liberty City, picking up my kids from my baby mom's house. And the little boy rode up on the bike. We was getting ready to go to the beach. And he made me 6 or 7, a little talkative little boy. I didn't even know him. He said, "Hey, man, where y'all going? Y'all going to the beach?" I was like, "Yeah." He was like, "Oh, man, I want to go to the beach, but my uncle says it's far." Bro, and I'm saying to myself, how is it far from you? You live in Liberty City. Like, I'm in Miami Gardens. But he's a kid, and it's like, that's the thought process. So, yeah, but some of these kids never been on a plane. Some of them never seen a college. So when it comes to pros and cons of 7-on-7, that's the start. And then you want to talk about the competing, the one-on-one. Because when you get South Florida, you got iron sharpening iron, and it's 7-on-7. It's like street football. So you could be you're playing against a team like South Florida Express. I mean, they got all D1 wide receivers, and you got you lining up in front of them. You're not double teaming much. You know what I'm saying? So if you lining up in front of Brandon Ennis, one-on-one for 30 minutes, you know what I'm saying? That has to make you better. Getting that work.
Either you putting in work or you getting worked.
Right. Listen, Mike Jackson, like that have to make you better. It has to make you better. You know what I'm saying? So, so 7-on-7 definitely has its place, and it's a fun game for the kids to play, bro. It is. It's not all the inner workings of tackle football and everything that goes with tackle. It's a fun game. It's a fun game for kids to play.
Right. Look at this comment. It said, these are facts. Born in New York, never been to the Statue of Liberty. And
there
I'm 30.
There it is. But you
That's
know,
what it is.
There's people out here that can't fathom that don't understand that. Yeah. And I think the more we talk, the more they'll understand. You know what I'm saying?
Right. And it's funny you talked about that, right? About the beach with the young kid, because you have to remember this too. I don't know how long ago that was when that story was, but remember the only beach we could go to then was Virginia Key Beach.
Yeah. Yeah. Luke talked about that. Luke talked about that a couple weeks ago. Yeah. Yeah.
So that's huge right there, man.
Right.
That's huge. I'm trying to get Luke too, man. I'm putting it out here publicly, man. Luke got to come see me, man.
Listen, bro. I just contacted Luke to be on the Caneville show. I had to talk to his publicist. His publicist called me from New York today, bro. Listen, it ain't an easy thing, bro. Like,
man, hey, I'm about to go to Edison with a camera and just set up shop after a practice.
Hey, listen, man, we thought he was over the hill. Luke, man. Luke was like, hey, man, whenever you get ready, but just call my publicist. I got to talk to a publicist, man. She had to shake me down. I'm like, whoa.
Yeah, man. And you know, me and Luke had a couple of battles, man. When he was at Norland as the defensive coordinator, I was over at Flanagan at the time, man. Right. And so, but yeah, man, I think he's a stand-up guy, you know, especially when it comes to coaching, when it comes to the community. He's pro Miami all the way, and he wants the best, man. So I follow him on Twitter and all those things, man. Yeah. And he's always talking positive. You know, I remember him saying this, and I know we're not talking about Luke for the show, but it is what it is. Right. I remember him saying it was the hardest thing was people can't separate Luther Campbell from Uncle Luke.
Right.
You know, and right before we jumped on, I was looking at Shannon Sharp's podcast, and Master P was on there, and he was saying the same thing when he played in the NBA, that people couldn't separate Percy Miller from Master P. Right. You know what I mean? And that's funny, man. But
because rappers never portray that they're acting. They always portray that they're real, so people take it as real. But I mean, I embrace everything. That man was the soundtrack of my childhood, bro. And I'm gonna tell him when he comes to the show. Like I'm not one of those people, man. If we could let Led Zeppelin, AC/DC, Guns N' Roses get old and be great, that man was the soundtrack of my childhood. And I'm talking about all the way up, like not just
and still to this day, you know what I mean? Hey, for everybody's birthday, they're gonna play that song. For everybody this. As soon as you get that, you know, when you get the throwback songs, you know, all that kind of stuff, you're gonna hear something. You know, and even that song with Machine Gun Kelly, Don't Stop, you know what I mean? Like all that stuff. I mean, the man is iconic, man. So I really wish, and I follow him a lot too. He did Drink Champs, and I mean, the man is a wealth of knowledge.
Yeah, I give him his credit, man, because a lot of times we like to throw things away, like, oh man, he old, and we throw it away. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Nah, man, you can't. He fought for these guys to be able to make the music they make, and I'm never gonna forget that. I don't care if he's politically correct all the time or not.
Yeah, no. And the beautiful thing about it, man, like I said, for him, he was the soundtrack to our childhood. Hey, I remember going to the Walsh Center, you know what I mean, in high school, and the Pac Jam and stuff like that. And boy, that's what it was, man. But anyhow, we're gonna jump into the thing. Uncle Luke, if you watch this and you watch this, holler at me, man. I don't have a publicist. You can call me straight up, dog. You can call me straight up. I don't have a publicist, bro.
Yeah, man. I'll give you a number, man. You can call and get shook down too, fool.
hey, give me that number. I'm calling ASAP Rocky. Anyway, and like I said, he opened the doors for a lot of guys, the Ross, the Tricks, the JT Money. Man, I was listening to JT and them today, man, matter of fact. But I'm just saying, like, a lot of guys came through here, man, and a lot of people came through. The old MC Shadis, and you got to be tough. Not come on, man. You know,
right, man. Yeah, man. It's not. He's iconic, and I'm gonna give him the same credit. The same way that other people get old. Like they get old, and they call them vintage. They get to travel around. Yeah. They still do shows. Yeah. Listen, man, this man has impacted the world. Yeah. Whether people want to believe it or not. You know what I'm saying?
And the funny thing about it is, we're the only genre of music that, like you said, we throw away our older people, right? In the rap game, not necessarily R&B, because people still go listen to the Temptations, even though all the original members are not there and so forth. But I have to say this, that we have to do, and you made a very valid point.
Right.
they portray that it's real, and therefore they're not acting.
Right.
And so therefore we think everything that comes out of their mouth is real. We think everything come out of Jeezy mouth got to be the gospel. Right. And we got to understand there's entertainment and then there's reality. I mean, in those country stars, the people who listen to that don't think, oh man, that guy really is da da da. But anyway, let's jump back into this conversation about 707 and we're gonna make it happen. So we talked about the pros of it, right? And you made some very valid points. Right. I have a couple of reservations, and I think we may butt heads on some of this, and that's fine, right? That's what we talk about. So even with 707 with the pros, the FHSAA, for those that don't know, that's the Florida High School Athletic Association.
Scholastic Athletic Association.
Yeah, I had to put it together. So they have now. Listen, man, hey, it's a round table of I don't know what's going. They have 4-hour meetings just to come back to say we're gonna table this and come back for another 4-hour meeting. But anyhow,
they need some help.
And I'm not here to knock it, but like we got to have, people want to know. But anyhow, here's what I want to say. They have now opened it up where high school teams can stick together, because a lot of people don't know this. In the off season, spring, before spring ball takes place, a lot of teams couldn't necessarily practice, right? And so that's why a lot of these 707s came, i.e. kind of a AAU basketball type feel to it. Right. Where it's AAU most basketball, AAU baseball. But anyhow, now that they've opened that up, do you think that's going to create some competition for a lot of these programs? And I'm just going to throw names out here. This has nothing to do with them. These are just probably the more prominent 707 teams that I've kind of heard of, right? The South Florida Express, the Florida Fires, like my man up here, Lowwood and AG, they got Certified Dog, and they have Excel Speed, those type of teams. Do you think that will put a hinder on a lot of those kind of programs that now the high schools can stick together?
Maybe not the bigger ones like that, the ones you just called out, maybe not the bigger ones, but maybe some of the smaller ones. It's going to be a push and a pull. You understand? Mm-hmm. I think what you may start seeing is some high schools partnering with certain teams. So, hey, man, we send you our players, and then you just give us our players back. You know what I'm saying? Also, high school coaches in South Florida do it for the love. Bro, they don't get paid nothing.
Nothing.
Right. So now you're saying that, hey, man, we're gonna let y'all go play 7-on-7. Mm-hmm. More hours out of my life that I can't get paid for. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah. So I don't know how much of the high schools are going to want to get involved. But I think it's I've seen a couple schools come out and actually play at schools, maybe call themselves a different name. I've seen St. Thomas come out and play their real defense, like a real 7-on-7 shell, like you play in practice.
Right.
Yeah, with their linebackers, and the linebackers getting smoked by wide receivers, but it make you better when the season rolls around. Yeah, right.
So you brought up a very valid point. That's something I kind of want to get into when I talk about this. So let me go back just a second about these teams coming out. Do you think that, and I guess we're going to go ahead and kind of jump into the cons and pros, we bounce back and forth.
Right.
Do you think a lot of coaches now, especially say you have a team, not a St. Thomas that's a powerhouse, or Northwestern, right, City, but let me think of it. Maybe a North Miami, maybe a great example, right? Team like North Miami, that's got that one dog wide receiver, right?
Right.
But they scared that, when they go play 7-on-7, people get the whispering in their ear, and them kids start. And the transfer portal in college ain't nothing but the transfer portal in high school now. So, do you think a lot of these high school coaches are afraid of, because think about this: if I'm a dog wide receiver, and I'm not here to knock North Miami, just making an example. Yeah. I'm a dog wide receiver right now, but I go play with some of the top talent on the Florida Fire.
Right.
And I'm like, bro, this quarterback can sling it. My quarterback, he like poor little Timmy.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And I'm out. Do you think, which I think it always has been in the past, but do you think that by the teams becoming where they can play together, do you think that will help deter some of those transfers?
I think, I don't think only thing a coach from North Miami, a school like that, would have hanging over that kid is, hey man, I'm your coach. Like, listen, you don't come play with us, then you ain't gonna come play. But then if he's that good, you can't play the leverage game with him. You know what I'm saying? So if he's that good, you're probably gonna have to be like, hey, bro, listen, man, go play with Florida Flyer. You know what I'm saying, and make amends with his family. Then come back home.
Right.
But according on how loyal the kid is, the kid might want to play with his team. I just think some of these 7-on-7 teams, when you're talking about the upper echelon, they offer too much exposure, too much camera time, too much flying around. We in New Orleans, we in Phoenix. I think some of the teams offer too much. Yeah.
So here's the deal, right? So you got some big hitters in 7-on-7 now, right? Of course, you got Nike, you got Adidas, what they call it, 3 stripes.
Right.
You have Battle, the apparel company now has done a lot of these sponsorships with a lot of guys and so forth. How does that influence? Oh, and here's what I wanted to say before. FCA, which is Florida Christian Athlete, they do it. I've been a part of many of their 7-on-7s, and I think they do an excellent job with their 7-on-7s because I think they only allowed school teams to come in. I don't think they allowed I don't know how to necessarily term them, but
right. That was developed for who runs that? What is his name?
Well, there's different guys in different areas. So Florida Christian Athlete is a national deal, but
Florida Christian, okay.
Yeah, the FCA. So they have, how they used to bring all the high schools down to the church over there in Coral Gables. I forget the name of the church. Yeah. But at the beginning of the season, they, everybody wear their jersey and they come and they do a thing. I thought it was awesome. I'm not sure if they still do it. And I was a part of FCA up here as well in Orlando. And they have tournaments and so forth, but you play with your teams. They don't necessarily have the, I guess, quote unquote, the all-star or athlete. All-star or elite type teams come in. But I thought it was great. They, it's well organized. They got a lot going on. But now, like you just said, they don't give you the same exposure as an Adidas, a Nike, a Battle, which is now doing. Oh my God, they're killing the game right now. Right. So here's my thing, right? So the con. Let me talk about a con, and you brought this up. We talk about being a tool, and I've always said this to my players. You have to use 7-on-7 as a tool to get better. If you don't use it as a tool to get better, why are you doing it? And that was just my ask to the player. And if they could tell me a different way, which not one player has ever in my 20 years of coaching has ever told me anything different except a tool to get better, then why are a lot of guys doing it? That's my question.
What else would he be doing?
Well, I don't know. I'm just asking because here's some. But what I'm saying is because they may say that, right, on the surface. Yeah, I'm using to get better, but are they? It's just like guys who go to practice every day. Just because you go to practice every day doesn't mean you're using that to get better. You're just at practice. So there's some guys that, for example, they'll go to 7-on-7 just like they go to practice. And they're not trying to get better at practice. They're just doing what they do. Even your top athletes you can always get better. Meaning sometimes you don't have to win that one-on-one battle. Now I understand the game is different, but I'm talking about when you practice and so forth. I may need to try this move out. I may need to work this move in order to add it to my tool belt. That's what I'm saying. What about getting better? Some guys, I know I do this well. That's all I'm going to do. That's all I'm saying. That's really what I think
that's most people. What you just said at the end, like most people just trying to win. They don't know how to, and that goes for coaches too, man. They don't know how to use something to get better. So your question is, you ask them if you're not doing it to get better, why are you doing it, right? Mm-hmm. I think, man, what the main thing is, bro. I think it's turned into a culture, tradition, something that happens now, right? So it's like a locomotive. It's gonna be hard to stop at this point. You know what I'm saying? Because it's something. It's like it's next. It's something that happens next. But I think the kids mainly do it because it's fun. To be honest with you. Yeah, I think they do it because it's fun. It's fun. It's like us against y'all. The trials used to be 300 people here. Then I would go that night, the Florida Fire, it'd be 300 there. it used to be crazy.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think they do it because it's fun. You can go viral. So never take that part out. Never take that part out of these kids and their culture and what they're growing up in. Going viral. Don't that is that is a huge part of a lot of things that they do. Mm-hmm. They want to go viral. So and I know older heads look at it and like, this is social media. Blah, blah, blah. It's no different than we used to run home and try to see that one little 2-minute clip of us on the news. You know what I'm saying?
Or the newspaper.
Right, yeah. Right. So we can't fault them because they have more cameras. They can actually get airtime. You know what I'm saying? So yeah. So I try to stay as young as I can in my mind, bro, to keep track, to keep up with what's going on. But yeah, don't ever underestimate going viral. That's the reason why they do a lot of stuff.
You know what, Street? I'm gonna say something to you right now, man. When you said that, and I'm gonna just say this: I think you're a little older than I am, not much, but just a little bit. But I had to give you your credit, man, just based on what you just said right now. Is you've moved with the time, and I gotta say right now, I'm checking myself right now. I know I'm being dead on it. When you said that, it made sense about the example of looking in the news. I'm just being honest. This is not one thing I am is I'm honest, and I'll say, you know what, I have no problem with saying, you know what, Hayes, you're wrong. And I got a little old school stuff in me, right? I get it. And I know you probably could tell through our conversation, like, man, this dude old, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Hey, you weren't supposed to agree right there, Street. Come on, man. You're killing me.
Listen, man, I love you for who you are, bro. I hear you, though. When you
No, but I'm just saying, so when you said that they're looking to go viral, and that is the culture of today.
Yeah.
And you, like you said, once it's out the box, you can't put it back in. Right. So, man, that just hit me like a ton of bricks. Like, it makes a lot of sense of what you're saying. Yeah. And yes, it is the equivalent to that 2-minute thing they used to come on. You remember when the schoolboy used to show games on Channel 2?
Yeah.
17. I'm sorry, Channel 17.
Right.
Channel 17 at early Saturday morning, but people be up early, still got the crust in your eye. You trying to see because they didn't have huddle. Right. They didn't have that kind of stuff. They
have everything, bro.
Yeah, you were trying to see the game before you went to school on Monday. You know what I mean? To see what part you was gonna get praised or cussed out on. So, man, so it makes sense, man. I'm glad you said that. Let me post.
I commend you for that, man, because a lot of people can't really look at themselves in the mirror and be like, hey, you know what I'm saying? Hey, maybe I didn't think about that. You know what I'm saying? You know what I always do, Hayes? I always think about my parents, and I think about how they always drilled in me what they did. And but I'm like, listen, it's a new day. This is my life. And I always think about that. And I try to never forget. Me as the kid. You understand? So when we're talking to them, we're talking about what we don't understand. I hear myself sounding like my dad, my mom, and I try not to be that. So I try to understand where they're coming from. And listen, going viral is one thing I don't talk about on my platform is there's hundreds of coaches, college coaches on my platform. Mm-hmm. Right. So, and I don't talk about that a lot. You know what I'm saying? I don't talk about that a lot. There's NFL players, there's college coaches. For the draft, Lamar Jackson contacted me and said, hey, man, send me that video. I put a video out of him in the game he played in before the draft. And he was the day of the draft. He texted me on Instagram, man, send me that video. He put it out, tweeted it, added Footballville. I was like, bro, shouldn't you be busy? You know what I'm saying? So those people are on the platform. You go viral, like you, Keith Brown, used to kill 7-on-7. Another one was Amari Cooper. The tale is Amari Cooper got recruited from Alabama from 7-on-7. You go viral.
Funny thing is, I was at Alabama the day he committed. We were up there at a camp.
Really?
The day he committed. I remember Nick Saban had he got the little door, that automatic door opener thing, and we all sitting in there. Right. And he opened the little door. He come in about 30 minutes later, about 20 minutes later. Amari Cooper come out, man. I swear to God, I think the corner of his mouth was touching his ears. He was cheesing so hard, man. You know what I mean? Hey, and I ain't gonna lie, I'm sitting there like, oh, my Miami Hurricanes have just lost another one.
That was just the beginning. That was just the beginning of a wide receiver run we never seen before in our life.
That's crazy. Let me read this real quick. Coach Jimmy Sheridan, that's my man right here. He says, I think the idea of having 7-on-7 in the winter for these Florida students with their high school team is a great idea because you can work on technique, alignment, assignment. But we all know when they get to these all-star teams, they can get stolen. Leeches are everywhere, at least in Central Florida that I know. Well, he brings up a point of what I'm saying. So let's talk about that. Now he brings that up. Here's another concern I have about 7-on-7. And I don't want to sound like a Debbie Downer, but I just want to put these things out here.
Talk to me. Come on.
Another concern I have is just kind of what he said. We can call them street agents. We can call them whatever we want to call them. And these are all general statements. I'm not talking about one particular team or anything. I'm just talking in generalities.
Right.
We know that there are guys out there that are poaching kids from here and there. And we talked about this prior. I can get you a scholarship if you play on my 7-on-7 team. I can do these things. What are your thoughts about those type of guys who are affiliated? Because remember, everybody who is coaching, they got affiliates with them. They got, if you go to 7-on-7, it ain't just the two coaches and the players. It's about 6 or 7 other dudes walking around, ain't coaching nothing. They just yelling. They got a towel. You know what I mean? I'm just saying. So what do you? So what are your feelings about that? Those type of guys.
Okay, so explain to me which guy you're talking about. You're talking about the guy that tells kids he can get them a scholarship, but he doesn't have relationships.
Yeah, I'm talking about those type of. I'm talking about guy, the salesman, the car salesman, because there's plenty of them out there, man. You know, and a lot of them are attached themselves to quote unquote teams that say elite or all-star, right? Central Florida All-Star 7-on-7. I'm just making up a name. I don't even know if that's a real team. South Florida Elite 7-on-7. And again, anybody can put the word elite or all-star on their name. Right. I'm just simply trying to say, and again, we're talking about young guys who have not been through this process, but they're trying to do it for that point. Maybe I just want to kind of put some things out there. So that's kind of what I'm looking at. The guys that are just affiliated with it, you know, because I'm going to tell you this, in high school football, in most places, we could take our beloved Canes, a Shapiro, Nevin Shapiro. He was affiliated with the Canes. He wasn't part of the Canes, but look at the damage he created. You understand what I'm saying? So the same thing with that. And I don't want to say a name because somebody take it out of context. So I'm just going to use Team A. I don't want to say a specific name and then somebody's clip this and, oh, Coach Hayden. No, that's not what I'm saying. Right. I'm just talking about Team A, and you got the hanger-oner guys or the finders guys that want to say, hey, Streeter, you know what I mean? Hey, come over here, man. I can get you da-da-da-da. You know, those kind of guys.
I mean, those we talked about this earlier, bro. Those guys aren't tackle too. You know what I'm saying? It's the same. It's the same in tackle. I mean, so those guys are always going to be around. I'm trying to understand. I'm just trying to understand, like I'm trying to understand, like you're saying, like, listen, this is what I've seen. I went to Florida State with a 7-on-7 team. I went to Clemson with a 7-on-7 team. I've been to Miami with a 7-on-7 team. Some of them really do get kids in the building. You know what I'm saying? A lot of times I've traveled with a few 7-on-7 teams, and yeah, they go to Georgia to play, and then they go over to the University of Georgia. I think recruiting is always going to be recruiting, bro. I think it's something we see down here because we live at the end of the rainbow, which is football heaven.
I love it.
Right. And it's so much talent down here that recruiting has become a part of our culture and not necessarily coaching them up. You know what I'm saying? Recruiting is a huge thing. But I think the line to the kids and all of that stuff, man,
Just part for the course, huh? Just part of the course.
Right.
All right, real quick, man, before we move on, one big shout out to Miami Flow. He says, "What's good, family? Love the show, man. If you guys are Kane fans or just like football, go check him out. He's got his own YouTube channel, man. We actually did a show together, I believe on, I believe it was Alonzo's show. I forget them numbers, 159, 129, or something like that. Man, please forgive me, so I'm sorry." But
I'm a boy, man. So, man.
I'm gonna blame it on McCain juice. But yeah, man, and so anyhow, we were on that show. We did one, so go check him out, man. Caned up, man. Hit me up. We got to talk, man. We got to get together and do some things, man, because he's very knowledgeable. I watch his show all the time, and a very knowledgeable guy, man, about the Canes. So make sure you check him out. Yeah. So here's what I'm saying too, right? So you talked about guys that went to Georgia ended up getting a scholarship at Georgia. So here's my question. Here's the $1 million question. Does 707 get you a scholarship? And when I'm talking again, I'm not talking about isolated situations. I'm talking about I guess I can say in general. Does 707 get you a scholarship, or does 77 introduce you to the coach to intrigue him to look at you further to give you a scholarship? Because, and here's the part two of my question. Do college coaches give scholarship based on your 7-on-7 performance, or do they go strictly off your game film, your high school game film?
You think Mark Pope made it to the University of Miami off of what he did in tackle football?
Can I be honest with you? My honest answer? I will hope to God so. If we are at the University of Miami recruiting guys because of what they did at 7-on-7.
Listen, bro.
I'm just being honest, because I'm gonna go back to my old school right quick, and I'm gonna let you ride out with that, bro. I'm gonna take what I just said about 5 minutes ago. I'm gonna take my lump, and I'm gonna say, you know what, Hayes, let's be a little younger. I believe if I'm a college coach, and Mark Pope, say I coached at University of Miami, Manny Diaz, phone number right there below. If I coached at the University of Miami, and I went into a coordinator or head coach office and said, "Hey, I see this young man, Mark Pope. All right, what you know about him? Man, he killed it in 7-on-7. That's my sales point. That's not addition to what else I got to sell. I think killed it in 7-on-7.
I think. Okay, so look at it from this way. I saw Mark Pope play against Boom one time at a tournament. And Boom is the team that was on the Adidas commercial, running around with the first ones to wear the little tiny shorts. They had the hat on, and it was a big time commercial. And
they up here, right? You talking about Boom out of Orlando?
Boom is from no. It's a team called Boom.
Boom. I know you're talking. Yeah.
Boom. I think Boom is out of don't make me lie. Boston, I think somewhere.
Yeah, but they like purple and green or something like that.
Right.
Yeah, I know you're talking.
And Mark Pope set him on fire. It's on YouTube. Go to Footballville, type in Boom versus Florida Fire. Got his 4th star from Rivals, 247 Sports from that game. Okay. So now, I see your face.
We're going to talk about the stars too. Go ahead.
Let's talk about recruiting, bro. Let's talk about recruiting. Have you ever seen a college coach come in your school, come and look at a kid, but then he see another kid that's 6'7", 285, and he's like, "Who's that?" And sometimes that he leaves, that kid has an offer when he leaves. Have you ever seen it?
Yes, I have.
Right. So recruiting is a.
But I have to say this. I have seen that, right. But at lower tier institutions, i.e., prime example. I remember guys. I'm gonna leave the coaches' names out of this. They came to Miami, New Orleans, and I forget the kid's name. They came to New Orleans to recruit one of our players. This other kid walks in my office. He played basketball, right?
Right.
So he played basketball, and we tried to get him to play football, but you know how that whole thing is. I'm gonna leave that alone. Oh, don't play, you get hurt, blah blah blah. They offered him a scholarship, right? And I get that at maybe some of the lower tier, especially FIU at that time, they were just kind of getting their feet wet. But we're talking Power 5, major Group of 5 programs. I'm talking.
Okay, let's get it out of the way. I think what you do on the football field is the final straw. But it all comes. It's all a part. It all. Okay, so why does University of Miami have Paradise Camp? Like, why do these colleges have these camps, right? When the kids come there, they're not in pads. They want to see them in person, right?
Right.
They want to see them in person in shirts and shorts. Plenty of kids leave those camps with offers. You understand? Yeah. So I remember you were having a 7-on-7 one time, man. Maybe 4 years ago when Coconut Creek was really good. And it was a kid from North Florida, man, that came to the camp and was killing everybody. He hadn't played tackle football yet because he got in trouble one year. The next year he didn't have grades, and he was murdering everybody. You offered that kid by 11 o'clock. You understand? Right. So he didn't have.
For me, offers and scholarships are two different things. See, I'm talking because offered. I'm gonna just tell you straight up.
Right.
I had coaches walk in my office. I'm like, bro, I know he ain't gonna last long. This dude came to my practice. He was like, you got to offer. Hey, you got to offer. I'm gonna leave the school and the coach.
The light don't went off,
bro. And I'm sitting here like, I'm like, bro, this dude a college coach, and he just doing that. Bro, I remember Cincinnati had 300 offers out there. You only get 25.
Right.
I understand you got to over offer because some guys go to other school. And that's a whole nother conversation. So what I'm trying to say,
it is. AJ Carlos,
and that's what I'm trying to say. I'm not talking, and I know what you mean about the scholarship, the offers. Right. I'm talking about, does it lead to a scholarship? And I think my heart of heart is 707 is like a trailer to a movie.
Right.
It gets a coach that, and some guys that are not necessarily on the radar, it gets you to say, it's like an advertisement. It gets you to say, you know what, like Netflix. You watch the movie, everybody watch Coming to America, right? But then they gonna advertise something up there, and it make you want to watch it. Like the little trailer, you're like, oh, that's cool. If it doesn't interest you, you go right on past it. If it interests you, you check it out. You know what I mean? You look at it. And so I look at 707 as a way to expose yourself, advertise your talent, right, to the coaches, for them to go now look at the movie, which is your game film from high school.
Right.
That's what.
Yeah, I mean, it should lead to that. It should lead to that. But I think sometimes colleges give offers from potential. They see a kid, you know what I'm saying? They see him and they see his potential, and they're like, oh, we could make him a player. I mean, you've seen that before, Hayes. You know what I'm saying? I know you've seen that before. So it's not yeah, I've seen it happen numerous different ways, bro. I really have. I've seen it happen numerous different ways. What you do on the football field at the end of the day should be the reason why they're offering you. But some kids don't have good film. Like I remember going to see Jerry Jeudy. Like a lot of Jerry Jeudy highlights were off the field. They were at camps. They were at cause Deerfield offense wasn't always prolific. You know what I'm saying? To say the least. You know what I'm saying? I would go see Jerry Jeudy play. He'll have one catch, through 2 catches, 1 touchdown. And he's like, dang, I wouldn't see Jerry Jeudy play tonight. Like I ain't really get much nothing. But we knew who he was.
Yeah, I'm with you. But right. So like that's my deal. Like when I look at it, and I don't want to feel like we're going around and around the circle, which that's what this debate is all about. Right. And Streeter, man, I thank you, man, because we just talking. I like to have fun with it. But
right.
I look at it and I'm saying to myself, Streeter, like, is it making coaches lazy? Because I'm gonna tell you this, in the college range, coaches are not projecting kids properly. You know who's projecting guys? If you look at it, look at the older coaches that's out here, the guys that are winning. Look at their staff. They know how to project talent, i.e. Nick Saban, i.e. Dabo Swinney, Ryan Day, Chip Kelly. I'm not Chip Kelly, Brian Kelly. Even at Notre Dame. Look what they're doing. They know how to project. They know how to. Bro, I've been doing this so long, and I ain't saying this to pat myself on the back, but I could tell 90% of a kid if he can play just by the way he walk.
Well, there you go.
But what I'm trying to say is, that's what I'm just trying to say is that in the coaching game now, these guys are so caught up with this kind of stuff and these stars. We're gonna get into that since you open the door. So I'm gonna take it. But here's the thing. I guess my second part of this is, damn, I lost my train of thought, bro, because I was just thinking about it. Come on, Hayes. That doggone Canes.
Piggyback on what you just said. Somebody on my show, Fannet said that on my show that coaches are getting lazy. A couple weeks ago. And I can't, you know what I'm saying? I don't know if it's lazy. I don't know if it's not being completely connected to what's going on. I would love to sit in the room and see how they project these kids. You know what I'm saying? How it's set up to get these kids and where it's coming from. Because sometimes they're late to the party.
Can I tell you how they do it? I'll tell you how they do it, Sheila.
Talk to me.
Here's what happens. Because when I was at FIU, this is what used to happen. They give out what they call a prototype sheet. And on this prototype sheet, each coach creates what they want by position. Let's take the Canes, for example.
Right.
The striker. We want the striker to be 6'1" to 6'3", primarily 205 to 215 pounds. I'm just making up numbers. 15 pounds, ran 4.5 or 4.6 or lower in the 40, such and such in the 10-yard shuttle. These are all what they call prototype sheets. And when coaches, based on how they recruit, you know, some coaches may have an area like, one coach may have Georgia, Florida, blah, blah, blah. And then, they got to break it up. And so when they go, this is what they look for. Now, when you go to the table, this is why I say it's kind of like the mob. A lot of coaches are protecting their job because they are scared to bring in a 5'10" guy that's not in the prototype sheet.
Now we talking.
Here we go. So you're asking how this happens. So now what happens is you bring in a guy that's 5'10", 5'11". This is why I say they lazy and they scared to stand up to the paint. Because if I brought in the 6'3" wide receiver and I don't want to say this because he a Cane, so I'm not going to do it. Let's say Poe Little Timmy. 6'3", got all the measurables. He meets everything on the prototype sheet, but he doesn't work out. You know what that coach can say in the meeting, especially in the exit meeting, right at the end of the year. And coach brings up, well, coach, man, you brought in this guy, didn't work out. Well, coach, this is what you guys say you wanted. That's what I brought in.
Right.
Because Lord knows if he says, hey, I brought in the 5'11" dude and he doesn't work out.
Right.
He gets his head knocked off.
Right.
So that's what we're talking about, getting lazy. Stick to your guns. Know what you're talking about. And also, coaches are getting younger.
So listen to me. There's a prototype sheet, right? So what if you bring somebody that's not out the prototype? Is what's going to happen is what you said if he doesn't cut it? Like if you bring a kid that's not in the prototype and you say, coach, man, he got dog, and you fight for him and he don't do well, he get fired. See,
because guess what? But think about it. How many people let's just talk Canes. We Cane fans. Think about how many guys we brought in that didn't work out and we jump on the coach head about not developing them. I always tell people, you can't develop what somebody don't have. I can't take Seabiscuit and make him man of war.
Right. Like,
that's what I'm trying to say. So if he doesn't possess the talent, I can't make him something he's not. I always use this example. I can go to Usain Bolt's trainers. I can practice with Usain Bolt, do the same thing he does, eat the same foods, work out when he works out. I would never break a world record because I do not possess the talent
that Usain Bolt has.
That he has. He has that. And so therefore, that's the same thing. That's what I'm just trying to say is that, so yes, to answer your question, I don't know. I know that has happened. But a lot of guys, because if you bring in two of them guys, that's 2 scholarships that's wasted. So guys are like, he's not a good recruiter, blah, blah, blah. You understand what I'm saying?
There's a disconnect. It's not a perfect system. Think about this. This is what you just said. And I'm going to tell you a story. coaches these coaches get fired all the time. Your head coach get fired, you're fired. So sometimes coaches are recruiting for the next job. So they may be Tulsa, but they're coming out there, they're asking you about your best kid. Because if I as a recruit can land your best kid, that helps me with my next job. Mm-hmm. You understand? So Johnny Ford, you know who Johnny Ford is?
I do not.
Johnny Ford, the running back came out of Coral Gables, went to South Florida running back, Johnny Ford.
Okay.
I'm sure the comment section, they know who Johnny Ford is. I'm standing on the sideline one spring with Arizona State. Johnny Ford, I don't know, man, 5'8", 5'9". But listen, Johnny Ford was explosive. You understand? Mm-hmm. We're sitting on the sideline, me and Arizona State, and we're watching Johnny Ford annihilate Miami Norland, right? We're watching them. And I asked Arizona State. I said, hey, somebody said Miami missed Tutu Atwell because it's many stories. I asked Arizona State, you like Johnny Ford? He was like, yeah, man. He said he's a good high school football player. Now me, I know who Johnny Ford is. I know whoever gets Johnny Ford is going to get a hell of a running back. You know what I'm saying? He said, but same thing you said, Hayes. He said, but I can't take him to my coach. He'll get me fired. I said, what do you mean he'll get you fired? He said, because he's 5'8". If he can't play running back, he can't play nothing else. Mm-hmm. And I hope parents are listening to this. You know what I'm saying? With these hopes and dreams. Johnny Ford went to South Florida. He's at South Florida now. And go look at his numbers. He did exactly what I thought he would do. Got on the field as a freshman, then got in a little bit of trouble. But he, you know what I'm saying? He did exactly what I thought he would do. But that coach Arizona State could not recruit Johnny Ford.
It could not. And here's the difference, right? And I want to say this. I totally understand you cannot get off the bus with a bunch of Johnny Fords. I get that. Right? And you have to really, and I have to say this, you have to really know what you're doing if you're going to, because somebody said he was 5'6". I don't know. I don't know the kid, so I'm just only making.
I don't know if he's 5'6". Now we're going to pull that up right now.
I'm saying, was he short? Was he short? Let me just say, was he short, guy?
Short and stocky, bro. Like,
okay.
Yeah, short and stocky and, oh, yeah, they say 5'5", 172.
Right. So now here's my deal, right?
Right.
I can understand that, and here's why I say that. There are certain positions that are a handful. Running back, wide receivers, right?
Right.
And we in Florida. Well, you say Arizona State.
Right. It was Arizona State.
And sometimes those guys that are the 5'6", prime example was my man that played at K-State, Sproles.
Sproles, yeah.
You know what I mean? Right. He may have to go to a lower tier Division I, you know, like K-State at that time. And it's K-State. You know what I mean? It's not. It's like Vanderbilt of the SEC. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I get that.
Right.
But sometimes you gotta just see a dog, and here's back to relationship. You gotta be able to trust the other people. Call up a streeter, right? Call up this person or that person, and get the intel and say, you know what, Street, I know you ain't gonna lie to me. Because if I'm a coach, I'm calling you right now. All right, Street, I got this cat named Ford.
Right.
I like him. I can't. If I was to sell him to Manny Diaz right now, I might lose my job, so I'm gonna need a job at Canesville right now. Here's my deal. But these are the relationship.
Right.
Would you put your bank account on this kid right now in your life that he could play it to you? And that's just that's just between you and I. This will never leave. I'm just saying those are the type when you build those relationships with those guys in those areas.
Right.
Because he may be a perfect fit for South Florida. But I'm just saying that there are guys, and I'm gonna give you guys a quick story. Most of you guys know Antonio Brown, Pittsburgh Steelers. I don't know, he played for every team now. The Raiders, the New England Patriots, but he's a Super Bowl champion right now.
Yeah, he's champ.
Okay. We took him to Miami Norland at the time. He was our quarterback. But we knew he wasn't going to be a quarterback. We knew that. But he was a quarterback for us. We took him to University of Miami, and I'm going to leave the coach name out of this. and he killing them. When I say same way you talk about Mark Pope killing them, this is on their campus. This ain't some 7-on-7 in a park somewhere. This is on their campus, Green Tree Field. He making a 4-5 star. The same stuff he did in the league, same stuff he did at Central Michigan, the same stuff he did at Miami Northern Senior High School, he was doing at the University of Miami. And mind you, he played quarterback. He never did wide receiver drills for us.
Right.
Never got taught those things. This was just all raw talent. He too little, coach. And we like, bro, y'all just had a Roscoe Parrish, right? He too little. I can't, bro. Nobody would touch. Had grades. He had all those things, and he ended up. A lot of people don't know this. His first scholarship was Alcorn State,
right?
But what I'm just trying to say is that's not projecting, bro. And you got people at that time. The head coach was Nigel Dunn. Y'all know him. Been around forever. You got people in the community that's gonna tell you blood raw. Because I've been in a meeting when Coach Dunn told the dude, nah, he ain't that dude for y'all. Trust me. Or, coach, listen, he can go. Right. And so anyhow, that's a guy. Just think about those type of guys. You know what I mean? And so I just put that out there. Let me pop up a quick thing right here. A lot of people said that. Miami Flow says Miami missed on Tutu Atwell because of his size. You know?
That right there was the listen, this man came back and killed us twice. Like,
Streeter, tell them how they messed up with Tutu Atwell, Miami Flow said. You ain't gotta tell me. I saw the film.
Listen, bro, when he ate us up with Louisville, right? I think we beat them because they had the worst defense I ever saw in college football. I walked out that stadium and I went live. And that was the first time that I was like, bro, listen, I knew exactly who Tutu Atwell was. How do we let him leave here and then come back and get us up for 100, however many yards? He killed us that game. I don't think it's projecting talent. It's exactly what you said. I have a sheep. I have a job to protect. It's not a natural recruiting thing. It's not that I can look at you, Keith Brown, and be like, we have to have this kid. That's not what it is. It's a cookie cutter. This goes in here, that goes in there, and a lot of kids get missed that way, bro.
But can I tell you this? And this is what when people talk about hurricanes, and I don't want to turn this to a hurricane show because we're gonna go back to 7-on-7. But this is when people understand a Miami guy. And a Miami guy doesn't mean you were born and raised, your address is in Miami. Jimmy Johnson was a Miami guy. Right. He understood the process. Right. The exception to the rule is not the rule. It's the exception. And there's always going to be an exception to the rule. Right. And most of them are dogs, i.e. a Devontae Smith. Goes back to Heisman Trophy winner. Back to what I'm saying about projecting talent. Right? 100, what was he? 5'11", something. I don't know the numbers. 5'11", 170 coming out of high school. I don't think Nick Saban them knew he was going to be the Heisman Trophy winner.
He was good though. Miami was all over. They was all over.
I know, but what I'm just saying, I'm not saying that he wasn't good. I was just saying I don't think they knew he was going to be a Heisman Trophy winner. But Alabama at this point can take anybody. They can get 4 Julio Joneses out there. Why do I need a Devontae Smith? Because he possesses a certain skill set that everybody's not the same. Like you said, cookie cutter. So right. I say that to say the same thing with Miami. Let's look at a Roscoe Parrish. You got a Roscoe Parrish that had a different dynamic than an Andre Johnson. That right. These big guys. Right. And so anyway, those are the type of things I'm saying, man. Let me see here. Hurricane Logan, what's going on with you? He said, my favorite people. Hurricane Logan, you're going to always be special in my heart, bro. This dude was on the line with me, Streeter, when we broke the $10,000 mark, man. Hurricane Logan, you're going to always be special to me, man. Let me see. Coach Sheridan got a pretty long question. Coach Hayes, we talked about this when we looked at offensive linemen, which is a high school up here, being recruited to Division I college. I can find 6'2" offensive lineman that is aggressive as a bar brawler, but they will take 6'6", 6'7" kids that is soft as kittens because he has the measurables. You cannot teach aggression. And that's the truth. I remember us recruiting a guy at Hollywood Hills. He was 6'7", but he wasn't even starting at Hollywood Hills.
So what was the thought process? We're going to get him here and do what?
Because people think, people think because you have the height, it's 3 things coaches can't coach. You know what that is, Streeter? Heart, size, and effort, right?
Right.
They can't coach that. I can make you stronger, right? I'm sorry, speed. I'm sorry. Heart, size, and speed. I can make you stronger, right? I can teach you the skills. I can teach you to catch, tackle, blah, blah, blah. I can't make you faster. When I say faster, I'm talking about significantly, not with style. I can't make you a 5-foot guy. I mean, a 5 flat guy and make you a 4-4 guy. It's not going to happen. Right. I can't make you bigger, meaning I can't make you 6'7". That's genetics. Right. And I can't bring the heart out. It's got to be in you. You got to have that gorilla in you already. So I'm just saying, so those are the 3 things. Those are 3 things they can't look at. A 6'7" offensive line look good getting off the bus. And they thought I could teach him how to block and this, that. But if he ain't got that gorilla in him, bro, if you ain't starting in high school.
But okay, so you was at FIU.
Quentin Flowers. I'm gonna go to Quentin Flowers' story. But go ahead. I'm listening.
Quentin Flowers. I know
Winky, Quentin Flowers, quarterback at Miami Jackson Senior High School, UCF, saved Willie Taggart's job. That's why Willie Taggart got the job. But go ahead. I'm gonna tell that story. But go ahead, ask your question.
No, I forgot I was gonna say Quentin Flowers. Yeah, I remember being on sideline with Ole Miss, man, looking at Quentin Flowers, man, and and I was like, y'all recruiting him as a quarterback? He was like, man, we trying to win, yeah. You know what I'm saying? But so you were at FIU? You actually coached at FIU?
I was at FIU 2012 and 13. So it was Cristobal's last year and Ron Turner's first year.
So if we're looking at a kid, we're watching Johnny Ford, 5'5", run all over New Orleans, and we see he's a football player, right? But they will rather waste that scholarship on a kid that you say not starting, and they're saying what, we could make him a player, or we just going to look good coming off the board?
There are a lot of guys that do that. There are a lot of guys who they get enamored with because he fits the prototypical sheet. He's 6'5", 6'6", 6'7", offensive lineman, right? And there are some guys, and this is not to the coach there at that time, I'm just talking in general about there are guys who think I can teach that. I can show him how to get in the way. I can make him mean and tougher because I put gunpowder in his food. Like, there's some guys who think that way. You know what I mean? Like, I'm just saying, you know how they put Tabasco on your meat. You're going to make him tough. Like, there's some guys who think that way.
Right.
So I'm just talking about that kind of deal. And so to Winky, which we call him Winky, but Quentin Flowers. So so before I end up going to FIU, at that time, he was our quarterback, 9th grade player. And I remember him coming out, and I remember going in there saying, hey guys, this dude can play. The first thing was told to me, Coach, he's 6 feet. This is what was said to me. Right. Coach, he's 6 feet.
Right.
I said, yeah, but he's 6 feet, 215.
Right.
You know what? He can throw the ball a country mile, got huge hands.
Right.
And this was a lot of guys. Tommy Schuler from Miami Springs. Cato was a quarterback, went to Marshall. There was a lot of guys that we end up playing in that Conference USA at that time that came back to kick out behind. UCF at the time was killing it. What was the boy they called Speedy? Rennell, I forget his name, from Carroll City, number 6, had the dread. They called him Speedy. Rennell, I can't remember his last name. But anyhow, a lot of those guys. What's your boy Jose from Booker T that was at Central?
Yeah.
The D lineman. So anyhow, so with Winky, I'm like, look, guys, this kid can play. Here go his film. He's a hometown kid. I was trying to get him to be the equivalent to the Teddy Bridgewater. He played right there at the Liberty City Warriors, played on the park, right? He could be the head of the snake. You get him, he gets somebody else. But Coach, he's 6 feet. I'm like, so what? Michael Vick was 6 feet. And he had $200 million contracts.
Right.
So he was like, yeah, but I'm like, but Streeters, I'm like, bro, he's a hometown kid.
Right.
We can get those guys. Right. Because again, he was the guy of that era at the high school position, like a Bridgewater at the time, who could play.
What comes after that, Coach? He's 6 foot. So he's saying, what is he saying?
He's 6 foot. And I'm like, okay. And then it got to a point where coach, he runs a lot. Yeah. And I'm going to say this, and I don't want to say this from a strategic standpoint, but I'm just going to make this point. If you ever go look at this highlight, my personal opinion, I'm just going to call it my personal opinion, it was a conflict in scheme. They had him doing 5-step drops with 3-step protection. And if you ever watch his tape, go watch his tape. He always had to escape because the blocking just didn't hold up. They didn't have the offensive line.
You talking about high school?
In high school, yeah. But the beautiful thing about this guy was he always kept his eyes downfield.
The man was amazing.
Now here's the flip of it. He goes to South Florida. Willie Taggart has a quarterback in. I forget his name. He decides to put Wink in. Wink turns because remember Willie Taggart was on the hot seat at South Florida.
Right.
They put Wink in. He saves Willie Taggart's job. They win all these games. Winky breaks all the records because South Florida FIU is equivalent, right? They break all these records. He breaks all these records. He gets a job at Oregon. What I'm just trying to say is,
you think South Florida FIU equivalent?
At that time, I'm gonna be honest. Mm-hmm. Can I say? Yeah, I would say yes. I'm gonna tell you why I say yes. I'm gonna just say yes because at any given moment they do this. At any given moment they'll do this. You South Florida go here, they'll go back here. They go here, they go back there. I mean, they had some great teams at South Florida. But then look at them now. Bloop, they back down. Like, it's not consistent. So that's why I call them on the same level, right? Right. But they're starting to surpass it. Like UCF is starting. To me, UCF and FIU are on the same level. They're just better, right?
UCF got national championships, what?
For who? For who? For who? They said they got a national championship.
They said they got their own national championship.
They said they got a national championship. Not UCF.
They declared themselves a couple of times. Yeah, right?
But I'm gonna tell you this: they had a valid argument. They got a valid argument because my thing is why rank, and that's a whole nother story. We're gonna get back to 707, y'all. Stay tuned. But they have a valid argument because why have me in a group of 5 program? Rank me amongst the Power 5, but don't respect me in the rankings, i.e. Cincinnati. Right. Cincinnati ranked number 8. Don't rank me then.
Right.
Why rank me number 8 in Cincinnati, but you treat me like number 15, 16, 17? Why are you ranking me?
Right.
But anyway, we're going to get off of that. Hold
on. Wait, but Winky, see, and that Winky is another example. I knew exactly who Winky was. Like, I knew if he get a chance to play, he was going to do what he do. But you fast forward to 2021, and now you have 6-foot quarterbacks. We got a 6-foot quarterback that's going to take the field with us in Atlanta with Alabama. And he's the second coming to Kyler Murray, bro. Mm-hmm. He is amazing. You know what I'm saying? He's 6 foot. So
yeah, and we're talking 7 years ago.
Right.
We're talking 7 years ago, which times have changed. Football changed.
That don't seem like that was that long ago.
Yeah, it don't seem like it that long ago. But here's the next thing too, and this is what I told the people. You also have to remember the kind of guys. You have to remember the kind of coaches you have. So Ron Turner, no fault of his own, was an NFL coach, right? Coordinator at Chicago Bears and so forth. So guess what he's used to? The elite of the elite athlete, right? Yeah. He's at Illinois. The elite, and Illinois is Illinois, but still, you're still getting top athletes.
Right.
So now that he's at FIU, can he turn that off? I don't know.
No.
And that's what I'm saying. So my response to that was, Coach, and I remember having this conversation. This is the God's honest truth. He said, Coach, because I was the only guy really, myself and Greg Moss, which is Santana, coaching at Charleston Southern. We were there together. Uh-huh. I remember we were the only real guys from Miami on the staff. At this time, he had hired guys that he had coached with previously, and there were really no Miami guys.
Right.
And I remember in the recruiting meeting, they had a couple of guys, I'm going to say some brothers from the other melanin complexion was good. They had it just wrong, right? They were going into the Northwesterns and so forth, and they had some of our guys going into Sunset and things. They didn't know. They didn't know what they didn't know. So I'm looking at them like, no, we got to get this guy here, blah blah blah. All right. So then I remember him calling me. He said, "Coach, what's happening?" I said, "Coach, you want my honest opinion?" He said, "Yeah." I said, "All right." I said, "Coach, you're getting you're getting first tier looking guys with second tier talent.
Right.
When we should be getting second tier looking guys with first tier talent, i.e. Quentin Flowers."
Right.
That was the deal. Excuse me. That was the deal.
I've never heard it put that way, man. But yeah. Yeah.
We're getting guys who look first tier, but they're second tier talent. Because let me ask you this. If they were 6'6", would you come to University of Miami? I mean, would you come to FIU over a Power 5?
Right.
That means that goes to show you that they're first tier talent. I mean, they're second tier talent with first tier bodies.
Right.
Now, there's some guys who sneak through. T.Y. Hilton, right? Because of his size. That's the only reason he didn't go to the U, but he turned FIU out. But if you look at T.Y. Hilton, not a big guy,
no,
but he had that dog in him. And I'm going to say this last piece, Street. Maybe because I'm from the crib, I'm a little biased. But if you can turn out Dade and Broward County, I don't care what size you are, I'm going to take a real hard look at you.
But it seemed like a lot of coaches they bring in here, bro, don't understand it.
That's back to what I was trying to say about a Miami guy.
They don't understand that. And I didn't start realizing that until because they college coaches, they getting 500,000, and I used to always think that, hey man, they know what they're talking about. And I started realizing that it's a disconnect. There's a disconnect. Like they don't know what they're talking about. Like I always feel that FIU, like these schools should be killing people because they should be able to go get the Quentin Flowers and the Journey 4 if they just press the issue. You know what I'm saying?
It should have like UCF did. UCF has done a great job with getting the local talent and getting the best out of these guys. Right. They have done it, and for years they have done that. They went and got the Blake Bortles, right there in Oviedo. They went and got the top guy, the Jose. A lot of these guys, man, and maximize the talent because what are they getting? They're getting second tier looking guys with first tier talent.
I was trying to go look and see T.Y. Hilton. T.Y. Hilton, I wanted to see who he was recruited. How was he recruited out of high school? He was highly recruited, wasn't he?
I'll be lying to you if I said that. Real quick, I'm gonna say this. Big shout out to Dan LaForest, man, the producer of our show over there at Varsity Sports Network. He's on here. He said you can't coach 6'6", worth the chance. Dan, I agree with you, but if his tape ain't showing and he didn't start, if he ain't started high school, dog, I'm just being honest with you, Dan.
Even where you at, right?
Let me ask you this, Dan. You were a quarterback at Apopka. Would you want that guy that didn't start at Apopka to be blocked for you in college? I'm just asking. I'm gonna leave it out there, man. You know I love you, man. But I'm just putting it there. It says T.Y. wasn't highly recruited. Eddie, I don't know. I would be lying.
I'm looking at it. It said he had FIU, Ole Miss, Boston College. No, he had FIU, Ole Miss.
There you go. So if at that time, 10 years ago, I would go to FIU before I went to Ole Miss. Why? Because my mom could see me play. Right, I'm not far from home. There wasn't ESPN 3s, 2s streaming. But you know, it's still at 10 years ago. The networks. Dan said nope. Appreciate it. But so the streaming wasn't like it is today. Right. So why not go be a hometown hero? You know what I mean? I'm just saying, why not?
T.Y. Hilton dad is a pretty smart dude. T.Y. Hilton could have stayed at Northwestern and played with the Ja'Cory Brooks and our Darius team, right? His dad said, "No, we're going to Springs." And I try to tell parents that a lot about the big fish and small pond thing. Listen, at the end of the day, you're trying to get an opportunity. A lot of times you go to college, bro, and for a lot of numerous different reasons, you don't get an opportunity. A lot of different political reasons. So you put your kid in the position to get an opportunity. And I think his dad was a master at that, bro. Like his dad, because his dad coached at Gwen Trade for a long time. I think he just stopped. He would put his kid in position, knowing that, hey, my kid is 5'0", but I know he could play. So I'm going to place him somewhere where they have to play him. And I think that right, being able to do that as a parent is a plus.
I'm gonna say this to you, Street, and you bring up a great point. And at some point in this conversation, we're gonna get back to 7-on-7, and I may even open up the phone line. But here's at some point, you make a very valid point, because when college coaches come in to recruit, you know what they say? Hey, coach, who's your top receiver? They go to every high school, right? Who's your top receiver? Now, if at that time, I don't know this to be a fact, but at that time, let's say if T.Y. couldn't compete with Aldarius Johnson, who was a big guy, you know what I mean? Those type of guys.
Right.
Fish, small pond, right? Now it becomes a little fish, big pond. What happens is, this is how it works for those that guys don't know. They may go to Miami Northwestern. Who's your top receiver? Player A. Central, who's the top receiver? Norland, Carroll City, Killian, Homestead, blah, blah, blah. They're going to take all those names back. And this is one guy that's recruiting the area. He's going to take all those names back, put all those guys up against each other, and come up with maybe one or two names. Then they're going to compare that to the other guys within the state. He's going to go to Central Florida. Who are their top guys? Come down with maybe one or two names. North Florida, come down with one or two names. Then he's going to take those 6 guys and put them against each other, and who's the fish we got to go after?
Right.
So if T.Y. goes in being the second or third best receiver at his high school, he ain't even in the talkings. But at least if he's at the best dog in Miami Springs, right, which kind of actually gives him an up, because Miami Springs is not the West or a Jackson or a Central at those times. It kind of gives them a boost to say, this dude doing it big, man. You know what I'm saying? So you make sense. It's very strategic. You got to be very strategic with that. Let me do it real quick, man. Give some shout outs to some guys who donated. Big shout out to Hurricane Logan with the $5. He says, you two and X could probably be the most lethal collab on YouTube. Hey, we got to get you, man, X on, man. I love it. And a funny story about X, you got to correct me if I'm wrong. I'm going to say this after I read this. It says, knowledge of personal experience always in the area, around the area. This is a blessing. So big shout to Hurricane Logan for that. And as well as KC Cruz with the $4.99. Appreciate it. He says, Coach Hayes and Street in the building. Y'all better pay attention, take notes. Who the best content creators in the game. # Crib Talk. I'm loving it. So let me ask you this. Now, X, did he go to Pace?
X went to Pace, played quarterback.
But he was at New Orleans first.
Yeah.
All right. I don't know X personally, but when I started my coaching career in 2000, he was at New Orleans, if I'm not mistaken, and he left. And you correct me if I'm wrong on the story. I came in the summer of 2000, and I believe, I don't know when he graduated or whatever, but I believe he left at that time. I think when it was a coaching change and went on over to Pace. I don't know him personally. I've never talked to him, but I'd love to have him on the show, man. He's a very knowledgeable guy, man.
Yeah, that's him. That's him.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, X was one of the top. He was the top basketball recruit, one of the top recruits in the nation, man.
I remember that. They just called him X. And I was like, I don't know who that guy is, but I used to hear the name over and over and over again, man. Yeah, man. That's cool. That's pretty cool. So let's do this, man.
You know, you started coaching when?
2000.
What high school you went to?
American.
You played?
American, yeah.
What year you came out?
Oh, 95.
Do you remember Arnold Person? The linebacker from New Orleans. Arnold Person, huge dude. He came out 94.
I don't remember him. Also, you got to remember too, man. We ain't had them things like everybody else had them. We had no. You know what you know what I mean? It was some guy, but no, there was guys. Let me see. Chris Perkins, of course. We was at Little League and so forth.
He played with Chris Perkins. Man, he was.
Kanan Lamb.
Yeah.
Kanan Lamb. Those guys.
Super famous now, man.
I know he's like a music producer or something. He did some stuff.
I talked to Lamb Track Production. He was Missy producer for a long time. I talked to Lamb.
Yeah. You know, dad got a big church and all that stuff. Yeah.
Arnold Person is Xavier's big brother. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Arnold Person was a hell of a linebacker at New Orleans. He D1. And that's Xavier big brother.
Okay, didn't know that. I don't even know X. I've heard the talks, and if I didn't hear those talks, or if he would have went by another name on your show, I wouldn't even put two and two together because I never seen his face. Right. But yeah, man. But let me do this, man. Let's get this thing going. We got to get back. I'm gonna open up the phone line since we already just kind of ran it out. Let's see if we can open up the phone line, students. Let's see if we can do that, man. Let's see if we can hold on, let me see if I can find this thing, man. We're gonna open up the phone lines and see if anybody call in and want to talk about 7-on-7, but we're gonna jump right back into it. We got 62 in the chat. Y'all hit the like button, man. Hit the subscribe button, hit that notification bell. Let's make it happen as well. So while we on here, we'll get it going. Let me see. Let me go down here. Big Bergie in the building. Bergie says, "Good evening, coach. Sorry I'm late, but I'm glad I'm here. Go Canes." Bergie, man, that's my man. All right, let me go. William Green says, "There was a kid out of Jacksonville named Arnold Jackson. He was literally a Tutu Atwell clone and went up to Louisville and set all-time records for receptions in NCAA history in the early 2000s." And again, back to Charlie Strong. God, dog, we getting to 7-on-7, but back to Charlie Strong. He came and got the head of the snake in Teddy Bridgewater. Then, that ended up getting a doggone Eli Rogers. That kept getting a lot of guys from, I think they had over 30 players, maybe 30, 33 players on their team at Louisville.
Yeah.
Bro, it put them on the map. And you going to tell me Louisville football at that time wasn't equivalent to FIU, UCF? Yes, it was. It was.
Right.
Not anymore.
Right. I mean, right. They that was the coaching change between. That's when we lost Randy Shannon, right? And we went on to Al Golden, and that's how we lost Teddy Bridgewater. And that worked out wonders for Strong, bro.
Yeah. I mean, again, projecting talent, right? Listen, Teddy Bridgewater tough, bro. I went against that joker when I was at Jackson in the Soul Bowl, him and that doggone Eli Rogers. Him and in college, we went up there at FIU. Man, them people beat us so bad. They beat us 78 skunk. Listen, Streeter. They beat us so bad. You could probably go pull it up. Hey, they beat us so bad, man. Them people ran out of fireworks, dog. Listen. They beat us so bad.
When Duke was a sophomore, but they did the same thing, but they whooped us too, bro.
Hey, listen, they beat us so bad. They had a whole rumor going talking about we asked for a running clock in college. Bro, Teddy Bridgewater he was so godly. Man, I hate the fact he got hurt, man. He's a great guy, man. And but anyhow, we're gonna get into that real quick. Phil out there. Phil, give us a call. He part of 7-on-7 up here. I want to talk to him. He says got a tournament in Atlanta this weekend. I know he travels around with Lowood. I'm not sure if you know Lowood, Streeter, but Lowood does Excel Speeds training up here, and they have a 7-on-7. I don't know what that team is actually called, but I know his company is called Excel Speed Training. I don't know what his 7-on-7 program is called. Maybe the same. But anyhow. So long story, man. Let's get back into this. Let's talk about this part of 7-on-7 where we talk. Let's go back to some positives of it because, like I said, I don't want to be Debbie Downer. So let's go back to some of the positives of this thing, right? But we talked about coaches being on the field, so I guess I'm flipping back and forth.
Right.
Oh, we got a caller calling in. Appreciate this call because guess what? This caller saving me right now from what I'm about to say. Caller, talk to us. Give us your name, where you calling from.
What up, Hayes? What up, Streeter, man? It's J Love T, man. What's good evening, fellas?
What's up, bro?
What's up, J Love T? What's up with you?
Facts. I just needed a question, man, especially about the 2-2 subject, man. I know y'all want to talk 7-on-7, but man, let me pick y'all brain on this, man, and especially with you, Hayes. Mm-hmm. Do you think Tutu would have worked out at Miami? Because look what we did to Pope and Wiggins.
Well, here's the deal, right?
What is it?
Here's the deal.
When they leave, go ahead.
No, go ahead. I'm just answering. My personal opinion, I can't say if they would or would not, but what I can say is he had the talent to play at Miami.
Right.
Now, it takes a lot to go into.
Right.
You got to You got to create packages for these type of guys, right? You got to create different things. Now, I can't say yes or no it would have worked out, but what I do know with 100% certainty is he had the talent to play at Miami. Now, would they have used him in the way to maximize his potential, I can't say that, But I know I would have found a way. Just think about this. Think about Steve Sarkisian in the way, okay, we're going to double up Devontae Smith, the Heisman Trophy winner. But I'm going to find a way where you can't double him. I'm going to motion him in the backfield and yo-yo him back out. So now it creates a hard thing on the double teams. And now he's got – that takes coaching. So I'm not saying these guys, the coaches we had couldn't do that. I can't answer that. But what I do know, like I said, he had the talent. Streeter, you got something to say in response?
Yeah, you hit it. He had the talent. Do I think Tutu Atwell would have worked out? I don't think Pope and Wiggins is Tutu Atwell. Tutu Atwell is headed to the draft, man, and projected to be drafted. You know what I'm saying? I think Tutu Atwell is okay. I'll tell you this: Tutu Atwell, when he used to go to these Nike camps and these camps, he would never win fastest man, right? Because he had to go against Schwartz and Campbell, the kid out of American Heritage. Schwartz is record track fast, Olympic track fast. But Tutu Atwell would always win something at these camps. Shuttle run. One of these events he would win. You know what I'm saying? So he has something. He has something that Pope and Wiggins don't have. And the kid, he don't lift weights, he don't really work out, so he's super fast. So I don't think he has anything to do with Pope and Wiggins. I think look at Jeff Thomas. I think Jeff Thomas, they're not the same player, but he's a small guy, and he's one of the most amazing wide receivers I ever saw coming off the line, to be honest with you. So yeah, I think he would have worked out. I think he would have worked out anywhere he went.
Okay.
Well, you saw what he did to our DBs in the game, so he'd have been doing the same thing in practice. He'd have been doing the same thing in practice. It'd been the same thing. You'd have to put him on the field.
Yeah.
Okay, and Streeter, you was really connected with the recruiting. You think Tutu would play? Because that was another issue too. If Tutu was willing to switch positions, because all through high school he was telling everybody, yeah, quarterback. Winky also. I remember we were telling Winky.
Okay, so Tutu Atwell. I'm gonna correct you. I'm gonna correct you on that. Tutu Atwell didn't really want to play quarterback. He wanted to play wide receiver. You know what I'm saying? They needed him at quarterback. So going to college, he knew he was going to play wide receiver. He knew he was going to play wide receiver. He didn't want to play quarterback. He was just too small, bro. Listen, he's short and he's small. Like, he's not short and stocky. He's short and he's tiny, 165, whatever he is. So people they looked at him and it was just Miami just was like no. This we've been talking about the same thing all night, bro. It's not being connected. It's not being connected to the coach or not being able to grab that player and look at him and be like, man, that's a football player. We need him over here. And that's the problem. And I think that's always going to be the problem.
So I'm gonna answer your question. Yeah, but I'm gonna answer your question. You talked about Wink, about changing position. One thing I liked about Winky, he always said, "Coach, I'm a quarterback." And see, my thing is, I think Wink had the size. Remember, coming out of high school, I think he was about 210. Right? He wasn't a little guy. See, he wasn't he just vertically he wasn't 6'4", but he was 6 foot. And I thought he could play the quarterback position. Now, maybe could he have played it for Miami? I don't know. But I was talking about the level of FIU. Now, I'm going to give you a little known fact. His freshman year, just like I told Streeter this story about Duke Johnson. See, I'm a defensive dude. I was defensive coordinator at the time. I'm always going to go get the best player, dog. I promise you that. Listen, y'all. Listen, you want to talk about being a coach? Yeah, there's some things I'm gonna make you better at, but I always use this example. I'm gonna get the dude that got the dogs. They got the dog in him, and my job is to train the dog, not the poodle. I want a pit bull, and I'm gonna train the pit bull when to sick him and when to sit. I ain't training no poodle when to sick him and when to sit. So Duke Johnson, 9th grade year, won MVP defense for me. Winky Flowers, 9th grade, safety. Let's get it. I seen Winky put some cats to sleep, and I think he could play safety, but his heart was laid on quarterback. And so when a guy's heart is that deep on quarterback, I believe he should do what he wants to do because he could play it at the next level. I think Tutu just played it because he was the best guy with the ball, just like Antonio Brown for us at the time, right? The ball is in his hand every play, so therefore he affects the play at every time.
Right.
So therefore, if a play breaks down, it's just like giving it to a running back. If something happens, just like, he could make the play move. So that's the same thing that happened with Antonio Brown and making a parallel to Tutu Atwell versus Winky and Duke Johnson. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Big Miami stop being picky, man, for the next 10 years, man. It's the picky nonsense, man. Like this year, we told Amari and you keep no. How do you tell him no? How?
Hayes just broke it down. Like you got a sheet full of players and you got to pick two. And it looked like they went with the bigger guy. They went with the kid out of Palmetto, Brashard. Me knowing these kids personally, they all ballers. I'm gonna go out and say that because they all are ballers. People get it confused at the talent level in South Florida. They all are ballers. I don't think you let Keith Brown get out of here. He's too much of a game changer. He's too much. He ignites a team. I mean, he has a thing about him that will rally people around him. You know what I'm saying? Right. So.
Right.
Yeah.
All right, man. I appreciate you, boy. Hey, thank you so much, man, for paying attention, watching us, man. Getting on here, calling. I appreciate it so much, man.
I appreciate it, Coach. And y'all hit the like button, man.
That's what I'm talking about. Hit that like button, man. Hey, and it's free. How many things in life you getting free nowadays?
It's
Real
free,
quick,
man.
Want to give a big shout out to Derek Carroll, man. Right there, that's my man's right there. I believe he's still at Miramar, if I'm not mistaken. Derek Carroll, he was there with us at Norland and at Jackson. He said, shoot them facts, Hayes. Winky was a free safety, but guess what? We had a dude named Cadillac Robinson Therese, who ended up going to Auburn. How he ended up leaving Miami, have no idea. But anyway, Lack and Wink were the starting safeties. Wink 9th grade year and Lack senior year. So, hey, I'm trying to tell you, there were some gangsters out there. But anyway, all right, here we go. This is the call I'm looking for. Coach Phil, talk to me, man. What's up with you, man?
What's going on, brother, man?
All right, man. So talk to us. You're a great segue to get back on the 707. This thing done derailed about 20 minutes ago. So let's get this thing back on 707, man. You ready?
Man. I can hear you fine. Can you hear me?
I hear you loud and clear. You got them straight?
Yeah, I can.
All right. So you coach right now 707, correct?
Yes, sir.
All right. So is it Excel Speed? Is that the name of it, or what is it called?
That's the name of Coach Lowe's company. That's the man behind everything. He's our power. But the name of the team is Central Florida All-Star.
Okay. I knew I heard that name from somewhere, didn't I? I knew I said it earlier. Well, I knew I heard that name. I just didn't recognize it. Right. So I know you may have called with a question, but I'm gonna ask you a question if you don't mind.
No, I just called to talk about football, man. I told you, Hayes, I love to hear you talk about football, and he's always my go-to guy to talk about football. So me and you talk football, second nature.
I appreciate it, man. So here's my question, Phil. I need to find out, what is it that you love about 707 since you coach, and what is it that you despise about 707? Being in it. You're in it.
Right. Well, I'll start with the latter because, you always want to start with the bad first. The worst thing about 7-on-7 football is the unnecessary hate that comes from it. Because at the end of the day, as you know what I'm about getting all these kids better from my son's age all the way up to high school kids, even the kids that we still talk to and deal with that are in college. But sometimes, you bump heads with guys, and sometimes it develops a big dispute for no reason when and people start to lose sight of what we really came out here for. And that's to just see that the boys get better. Okay. So that's the only thing I despise about it. There's not too much I despise about 7. And the thing that I love about it, we can celebrate. The kids can catch a pick and punt the ball 40 yards. That, I'm a head coach.
I told you it's fun.
All right. So I'm glad you said that because, man, hey, Phil, boy, you the segue king, boy, because that's something I want to talk about. But Street, I'm gonna let you pose a question if you like to Coach or whatever, however you want to do it.
Yeah.
Not too much questions. It's just more of me trying to get the fact out there because I know a lot of high school coaches that don't like football, and I know a lot of coaches that don't like football. I know parents and fans of the game that don't like 7-on-7 football. But I think it's very good for the kids, especially those kids that are not good hoopers, so they can't be on the basketball team. They're not wrestlers because they're skill guys, and skill guys don't do too well with wrestling. And there's not too many brothers out there on the water polo team. So I just want to get the misconception.
Hey, my dog said water polo team. Hey, boy, I know you at West Orange High School, boy. Hey, no water polo team. I don't think it was one water polo team in Miami, man. If it is, I swear to God, I don't know it. Matter of fact, Norland had a water polo team. Street.
Did they?
Yeah, I'm telling people.
Where they practice at?
They used to, I don't know, man. I'll be lying to you. Oh, at the little park across the street at North Dade Park.
Oh, yeah.
They practice in the park. Hey, but the old saying was, Phil, back in the day, when the freshmen used to come in, they'd be like, where P? Oh, it's up there by the pool on the 3rd floor. Ain't no 3rd floor in the school. Anyway, so go ahead. So go ahead, Streeter, man. If you got a question that you want to pose in regards to that, or if not, it's up to you.
No, I'm good. I don't have a question for him. You need to come to make a play 7-on-7. I'll let up there 786-459-499. Come check make a play 7-on-7 out.
I heard that.
Nah, it's fun out there, man. It's fun out there coaching, calling plays. As you get to see the more feel for the passing aspect, and it's a lot of networking too. It's good networking for the kids and for coach up and coming coaches like myself.
I got a question. I do got a question. Hayes brought to my attention. Hayes was like, man, the coach on the field, man, what the coach doing on the field? And I've heard this before. You know what I'm saying? They're like, man, these are 15U varsity kids. Why is the coach on the field?
I'm a defensive guy. I hate that junk.
The offense already got it. Coach, how do you feel? How do you feel about the coach being on the field? Is this part of the culture? Is it something that they do? How do you feel about that? What if you went to a tournament and they say, hey, man, the coach is not on the field?
Well, see, the thing about the coaches on the field, they're not supposed to be on. The only coach supposed to be on the field is the coach calling offense.
That is the one we're talking about. Him.
That's what we're talking about. Why is he on the field?
You got to remember. The thing about this 7-on-7 football is I have kids we have kids on the Central Florida All-Stars. We have kids from literally 7, 8 different high schools. So it's not like we get a chance to practice 5 days a week like we do with 11-on-11 football, and we get to go over constant plays. So by the time we get out there, it's like, all right, we got these plays that we're going to run. Some coaches now are doing the wristband thing. The offensive coordinator of our team, he's implemented that. And, sometimes he'll have the card out there depending on time because there is a running clock. But for the most part, that's the only reason why, because there's not that sense of camaraderie, and this quarterback doesn't throw to the receiver on the outside every time. So he got to know, all right, you're running the dig. All right, it's at 10 yards. All right, it's at 10 yards. No more, no less. That's more why the offensive coach was on the field. Now, if the defensive coach on the field is a guy like me, you need to kick me off the field. But besides that, that's it.
Okay, so it's because the teams don't practice as much. Okay, I get that. I never thought about that.
No, I don't get it. And I'm gonna tell you why I don't get it. Using your logic, Phil, the defensive coaches got them same kids from 7, 8 different high schools. He ain't out there. He not out there showing them where you corner. You need to line up inside and everything.
Tipping kids before the play start.
Yeah. Now, if you would have told me, you gonna run out there on the field, give them the play, and run off. But I'm being honest because I've seen coaches that's standing behind the quarterback. Down, said, he going back, throw the corner out. You telling him what to do.
Most of the time.
And when I say you, I'm speaking to Joe, not talking about Phil. But I'm saying these guys are telling him he in the ear, corner, out, and he throws it out.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is, defense is already at a disadvantage.
Mm-hmm.
I think we're already at a disadvantage because of the kind of game it is. So I get that. My thing is, bro, how hard is it to come up with some signals for some numbers? I don't even care if you yell out 2, 2, 2, 2, 2. Look on your wristband, make play number 2.
No,
because you
as far as defensively, it's easier to go over defense. Cover 3.
No, it's not. No,
I mean,
sit down, offensive coaches. Boy, I hate y'all. Boy, I hate y'all.
All they do is go to cover 2.
But hold on. That's exactly what I'm trying to tell you. That's the part that bothers me the most. And I understand it because I get into this all the time. And Phil, when we worked together, we used to go through this all the time. All it is coverages, but it's not. It's about leverage. It's about understanding the formation, where he is on the formation. Is he inside the hash, outside the hash? See, when people take that and see, that's what I'm saying. That's the funny thing, that a lot of people think offense is harder. It not necessarily is, because you have to remember, here's what's really hard. We only have 5 coverages in essence. Right. 5, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. And then you create a couple of combinations out of that to create other ones and some exotic stuff. But your playbook is infinite. You can run any route combination. Now, I'm not saying it's sound, but you can run anything. Right. A receiver can go anywhere he wants to go. He can do anything he wants to do. You can roll out to the left. You can half roll, come back. I mean, it's infinite. But yeah, you're saying it's easy. It's easier for y'all to come up with just some plays in the dirt, because you got to remember this too. A corner route is a corner route. Cover 4 is different to 4 different coaches. You ask 4 different coaches how they run cover 4, you're going to get 4 different answers.
Right.
Absolutely. No, well, I mean, I'm calling defense out there because I like to call defense out there because, as you know me, I'm an offensive coach, so I like to see and see how you guys think. To think like it's a mad scientist type stuff that you taught me. But you're absolutely right, Coach. I literally have a play when I do call offense. I'll go out there and tell everybody to run go balls, and I'll isolate one guy on another guy, and I'll just tell them, you have a get open route. I don't care what you do, get open. We're throwing the ball to you.
Infinite. So we don't know what. That's what I'm saying. What play is that? Get open.
Get open. That's exactly what it's called. Yep. I know you love it.
Damn cup, bro. I ain't got nothing left. I can't even shoot. I can't even hit myself, man. I love you, Phil, man. It's called get open. That proves my point, Streeter, right there. What I'm talking about. How are we getting better?
Listen,
Phil, because you can take this. Hold on. Because Phil, you can take this. I'm gonna hit you with it, man.
Man, you come right out of a comic book.
You know I love you, man.
But no, Coach, it's awesome because at the end of the day, what we do, well, specifically what we do with our program, when we do get the kids and do get a chance to practice with them, we do go over coverages. We do go over route concepts. This way, because I've seen the coaches out there be like, all right, throw the corner, throw the out, throw the hit, throw the throw. But what refs are doing now, what I've seen refs doing now is they're pulling the coaches away from the quarterback's drop. So if the quarterback has a 5, they move them back, I think it's like 5 yards. They've been doing that a lot more because coaches were caught doing that, and it's easier to do, and it's unrealistic. It's like almost playing the game of Madden. So,
right. Hey, give me 1 second, hey.
You got it. I'm on here with my man. So, Phil, real quick, man, you're the new co-host right now while Streeter took off. No, but so we talked about, I don't know how much of the show you've heard, but we talked about it. We talked about those type of things, man, where is the want to win going to supersede the want to make the kid better, right? So let me explain that really quick before you answer. What I'm saying about the want to win, just like you said, a get open route, right? And I'm gonna just use you as an example. You open the door, I'm gonna take it. So is the get open route, is that a want to win more than making that kid better?
Now, see, the get open route isn't just something I call on 1st and 10. A get open route is for a situation like we're talking about. You know me, and the way we've talked. You know that if I have to lose, I'll lose, but I'm a winner and I want to win, so I'm always going to win. So if it comes down to it, 3rd and 5, and we have to get a first down, a 3rd and goal, and we have to get a touchdown. Of course, I'm going to take, like you guys talked about earlier, with giving AB the ball. You're going to get the ball to your quarterback and tell him to put it in the ball to the best receiver, the best guy you got the chance to make a play.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what the will to win comes from. And I'm all about winning tournaments and all about winning games. And I put pressure on the kids to win games and to be better. And the way we've been playing and the way the kids are responding, because it's hard to get a team of kids, let alone a high school team, then get seven different high schools like we talked about, and you got 24 kids, so that's 24 different attitudes. That's at least 5 different schools, and you got to deal with all of that, and you got to merge them together and try to get them under the concept that we all want to win. Because some come from winning schools, some come from them losing schools. And, some of them kids from the losing schools be better than the kids from the winning schools. So then it becomes a competition within them. And if I can get them to understand that and we can win, that's all it's about. Of course, at the end of the day, I want to hold up a trophy. You know me. I want to win. There's a lot of people that I got to prove wrong. And, people doubt me and doubted us in the past. And That's what motivates me to win. So that's why I do what I do. And that's why I'm always – and that's why I have so much fun with it. So
wait up, I got it. So wait up. So Coach Phil, man, don't let him pound on you about your get open play, dog. Listen, sometimes AJ from Miami Central, 8 state championships, right? When he came to the Caneville show, he sat down and he explained why he went to the Wildcat with Dalvin Cook and Joe Yerby. And he said, to be a good coach, sometimes you can't outcoach yourself. Like sometimes you got to do the simple thing. He told me one time on the drive to win the game, he went into the huddle and he told the coach, listen, man, we going to, I forgot who the wide receiver was. It was their best wide receiver. We going to him. If the cornerback is up, you run the comeback. If he on him, we run the post. And we're doing this all the way down the field. So those things happen. Sometimes you do simplify the game. Right? You know what I'm saying?
That's coaching those street. I'm with you. That's a real thing. That's a real thing, though. That's a real thing.
Ain't no different than get open.
No. Snipes ain't say, hey, dog, if you don't, you just find a way to get open, dog.
Exactly.
He said if he pressing you, take him to the house. If he a choice route, I'm all for that. That's football. That's life. That's a real route. You know what I'm saying?
Listen. When AB was y'all quarterback, how many times y'all looked at AB and just said, "Hey, listen, man."
Hold up, I'm gonna bust my head open right now. Y'all ready? This is the God's honest truth. Carol, I don't know if you remember this. Coach Carol in the building. Matter of fact, he says, tell Streeter, tell my homie X. I said, what's up, man? I think they went to school together. Listen, we playing Lakeland. That's when they had Chris Rainey, the Pouncey twins, Ahmad Black. Listen.
At Lakeland, right? Because y'all had to be at Lakeland.
Yeah, you got to go to Lakeland because they only going to schedule when they know they loaded.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
We go to Lakeland. Right. I'm defensive coordinator. Tony on quarterback. I'm telling on myself, dog. and you know what, Phil? I feel bad because I'm pounding on you, but I'm finna jump in the same boat with you with no oar. No. What I'm saying, I'm finna jump in the boat, and when neither one of us got a row, we ain't got no oar to row ourselves out this foolishness. Here we go. I go to Tony. I say, Tonio, I need you to win this game for us, dog. We can't stop him. The guy's on the truth. I say, I'm on defense now. I don't want to talk to the quarterback. Because remember, the very first play, Chris Rainey, the very first play from scrimmage, bam, take that thing to the house, 85. Here go the funny thing. He looked at the DB that had the angle. The dude had the angle. He looked at him like this. And I'm like, okay, he got him. I swear to God, Chris Rainey must have looked and like smiled at me like, nah, coach, and hit the NOS button. And I knew from right then, I say, Tonio, I say, bro, you got this. You a gangster. I need you to win the game for us, dog. We couldn't stop them. They had the Pouncey twins on the line and Chris Rainey, and bro, they was killing us, bro.
They blow y'all out.
Listen, bro, blow it out. We could have made it back to Miami and now you get back on the bus. They hit us so hard. Shoot. Hey, look at Carol. I was on that team, and our defense was legit, dog. Legit. That was the same year when Chris Rain, when Lakeland and them played St. Thomas with like the 4 or 5 overtime games or whatever it was down there at Joe Robbie.
Right. Yeah.
Oh, they said we lost by 10. We lost by 10, Carol. They didn't look like it to me. I swear to God, you got a better memory than me. Hey, Carol, if you was that, thank you, man. Because Lord have mercy, my heart, it was like he had a 0 in the end. Because, man, Chris Rainey and them, man, them boy, I ain't gonna lie to you, they were gangsters. Plus, I got kicked out the game anyway. So I had to go sit in the barbecue pit.
Nah, they were good, man.
He said that first year they didn't blow us out. What happened that second year? Anyway, man, Phil, thank you, man. We about to wrap this deal up, man. Appreciate it.
All right.
It's a packed house, right?
Thanks, man. I appreciate you.
All right, Street.
Oh, man, I cut him off. I'm sorry. He said Street. He said, all right. He said 31-21. Man, Carol, you got a better memory than me, boy. Doggone. That had to be in what, like 04, 05, somewhere in there. But anyway, he said it was 31-10. Listen, he said 31-21. And then he said that next year was 42-10.
Y'all went back up there?
Man, you know how they said that, man. I ain't gonna get into them ADs and that foolish money. They be taking that doggone chum, boy, and knowing there's some sharks in the water. Let me see here. Pump Gauges said they went to state 5 years in a row. They whooped us, and they had Jeff Demps too. Man, they was killing it. It was hot at that time. But anyway, man, we had a 2-hour mark, Street. I don't know what you got going on. The phone line is open if it's there. If not, we can cut it off.
I'm chilling, man. What you want to do?
I'm here, man, so we can finish talking, man. We got a lot of things going. I'm enjoying it. I'm getting ready to actually head up and go enjoy my spring break, man. I ain't gonna say where I'm going, but just know I'm going to have fun. And actually, man, I'll be in Miami, so we definitely gonna have to get up. I'll be in Miami next week, man.
You gotta get up, man. I gotta get you to come to my show, man. When you gonna come on the show, man?
Man, when y'all do it, I'll be there.
Okay, all right. Gotta get you to come on the show, man. We shoot every Sunday morning.
Oh, Sunday, Lord, I ain't gonna be there Sunday. I'm coming in Tuesday and I'm leaving Saturday.
Got you. All right, man. So I gotta get you.
But we'll see, though. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see. I may leave that Sunday morning after I shoot with you. I don't know. We'll see.
Okay, let's run it.
Hey, that boy say that last year they had 13 Division I players, bro. I'm trying to tell you, and it seemed like all of them went to Florida, boy, at that time. But anyway. But yeah, man, so we having fun. The phone line is open. Please hit us up, man. You can ask questions. We started 7-on-7. Now, here's my last question. We talked about celebration. That's why I told Cofield he's a segue king until we get another call. Hey, Carol, man, hit us up and be at the crib, man. Hit me up. I mean, come back. My man cut hair too, man. It's called Cuts by Coach. Go holler at him right on Miramar 27th Avenue, man. Yeah, Cuts by Coach. My dog got, hey, how you face? I look like it too, boy. I Willie Mammoth. But anyway, so anyhow, man, put your info in the comment section, Carol. Let them boys see you. Go get that cut. But anyhow, we talked about celebrations, and sometimes they go too far, right? So Phil just brought up a great point about, having fun, pointing the ball, putting the ball 40 yards and all that stuff. Do you think sometimes, especially that you run a 7-on-7 program, right? Like the event itself, do you think that is sometimes too far, so far as a celebration? Do you think sometimes things can go just too far, or is everything just lighthearted?
No. I think it can go too far. One problem with 7-on-7 is sometimes the fights. The fights happen often. And I think a lot of it comes from celebration. The kids like to do something where they score on the kid, the whole team gather around them and they start going like this. And I've seen at least 2 fights start from that exact celebration. It's kids' emotions, and you got to understand these kids are being recorded. Everything's being recorded, so all of that's always on their head. It's always on their head. So no, man, I think sometimes the celebration get out of hand. We try to control it. Anybody throw a punch, both teams, we kick both teams out because at this point it has to be a no nonsense thing. We got to try to hold it. 7-on-7 always almost becoming like hockey, man. It's fighting becoming part of the darn game, man.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, how do you think being an event coordinator, because that's what I can call you, being an event coordinator, how do you think you can rectify some of those issues so far as being maybe proactive to it instead of reactive? Like you kicking them out after they throw the punch, right. But how can you beat them before they throw the punch? How can you do that?
Okay, so one thing is holding coaches accountable. That's one thing. That's one thing with 7-on-7, like Phil just explained. So Phil got all these kids from these different counties, right? Mm-hmm. And Phil wants these kids to play for his team. So in return, Phil may be a little lenient with his kids because he wants these kids to play for his team. Phil don't have the leverage that he would have if he was a high school football coach. So a lot of times,
if he was their particular coach, you're saying,
right. So a lot of times we see that the coaches that coach 7-on-7 seem to be a little more lenient in what they allow the kids to do. And so to be proactive, we got a few things we're putting in place. Boxes for the coaches. We're going to try to rope off certain areas so certain people can't go in certain areas. And in the coaching meeting, man, we would just tell them, man, listen, man, you guys are accountable for your kids. If your kids start a fight, I mean, you got to go because we expect you to control your kids.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I mean, that's basically it.
All right. So what about this? And I always talk about, I mentioned this earlier about the hanger-oners. Mm-hmm. Do you think if you limit sideline accessibility with the amount of people? So, for example, you may be limited to, I don't know, I'm just picking a number here, street, right. But 3 coaches, your head coach, your offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator, actually on the field at the time of the game.
Right.
Or however that go, maybe 2 and 2. You got a 2 offensive, because here's my deal. If you're the head coach of the 7-on-7 team and you're not coaching anything, dog, what are we doing? I'm just being honest. You can be the head coach in title, but you still should be coaching. You understand what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you don't need to be the head coach, an offensive coordinator, a defensive coordinator, the receiver coach. It's 7-on-7, bro. So what I'm trying to say is, do you think that maybe limiting some of sideline accessibility will be that?
We've had meetings on all of that. We've sat down and we talked about all of that. That will help. Sometimes, man, it's team moms, man. You got to get a hold of it early. And you know who play a big part, bro, that I didn't realize until I started doing events? The referees play a big part in how your day is going to go.
Right.
Yeah. You got to pay for some quality referees to control the game. Because when games get out of hand a lot of times, it's because the referees didn't stop it when they saw it start.
Mm-hmm.
So that the referees play a huge part in controlling the things that go on in 7-on-7.
Yeah, and my thing is with celebration, right? It is fun. It don't have to be as strict as high school football or whatever.
Right.
Like when a guy scores, the whole team run out, cats doing backflips. I love it.
Right.
But again, let's be a little proactive because we got to call them along. Let's be a little proactive. And you have to do that towards your sideline. You can't do because I've seen guys score and go run up, a kid will go run up in the face of the head coach of the opposing team. And you're going too far. Like to me personally, because at the end of the day, we still got to be able to teach some respect. And after we finish this caller, I'm going to bring up the Cam Newton situation to you and ask you about that. But caller, talk to us. Give us your name, where you calling from.
What's up, guys? It's Hurricane Logan. How you doing?
Hurricane Logan, what's up with you, man?
Yeah, I didn't want to call because honestly I don't have much 7-on-7 knowledge, but I heard y'all talking about how you were about to get off early, so I just didn't want to miss a chance to at least talk to you guys. That's all.
I appreciate it, man. 10K Logan in the building.
I do have some questions. I mean, like I said, it's not really 7-on-7 related, but it's maybe something that y'all might know or understand that I don't. we all know like the viral video that I saw was Mark Pope when he was doing the 7-on-7s. What do you truly think happened to Mark Pope and at Miami as of now, at least? You know, who knows if he could turn it around, but just what happened, because like the man was really electric. So that's just my first question.
Street, I'm gonna let you do this because I'm gonna just tell you straight up. I was busy coaching. So when I was coaching, these guys getting recruited, I wasn't looking. You know what I mean? I'm trying to win ball games. So you really the master of this right here. So this is more of your wheelhouse.
What happened to Mark Pope? I think sometimes it can become complicated. I had Sarah Williams on my show this weekend, and he was the offensive lineman that went to Miami with Tyrone Moss. It was him, Bain, Tyrone Moss, and he didn't grasp the offense right off the bat. It took him a while, 2 years, and he's feeling his heart. He made it to the NFL. He played on got on the practice squad, but never made it on the play squad. He walked away from it. He felt he was an NFL player, bro. Like he went up against Bain and he went up against all these everybody in practice, and he saw where he stood. But he says one thing to me all the time. He'd be like, "Bro, I had 3 different offensive coordinators, so I already had a problem learning the offense, right? And you throw 3 different offensive coordinators at me. So let's go back to Mark Pope. Mark Pope, when people started asking me about Mark Pope, because I wanted him to do well, and people started questioning me about him, I started thinking back to his high school career. And I don't have many memories of Mark Pope balling out in tackle football. He caught the touchdown at State, or the long pass at State to win.
I was there too. Hey, I was there right here in Orlando against Dr. Phillips. Because Dr. Phillips had that game won, man.
Yeah, he caught the long pass. But I also saw the same thing sort of kind of with Jerry Jeudy, that he wouldn't always, in a game setting, their offense wasn't always sinking. I'm just going to leave it at there. And he didn't always get off in a game setting, but I knew who he was. I think Mark Pope, and it's a long answer. Let's go to Mike Harley. Mike Harley took the stand in press conference and started crying and said he felt like quitting at one point. Mike Harley was an all-star at youth football. He was a superstar at St. Thomas. He gets to Miami, and then they struggle to get him on the field. They don't really make plays. I start seeing him around town, and it's this look on his face like he let somebody down. And he's still working. He's at Goldfield. He's working out. So what could have happened to Mike Harley at Miami to make him want to quit football? I think sometimes colleges fail kids, and I say this all the time. I think sometimes the tenure and the business of college football fails kids. Does Pope and Wiggins actually have it? I don't know. Mark Pope was ranked higher than the kid coming out of high school that won the Heisman. You know what I'm saying? Mark Pope in 7-on-7 or in the churches at Paradise Camp, Mark Pope in those settings was electric, bro. He gets to Miami, and it's not just him struggling. Miami's struggling as a team. Miami's struggling as an offense. You get 3 years of that, and you got the NFL looking at you, and you like, this is my dream, and I haven't balled out yet one time. It starts messing with you mentally, I believe. I don't know, Hayes, maybe you could add to that, but I believe it starts messing with you mentally, and if you're not mentally strong enough to Leonard Hankerson this thing, you got 2 kids that turned it around. Mm-hmm. I think it could break you down like it broke Mike Harley down.
Yeah, I'm gonna say this to you, Streeter, from a coaching standpoint, because like you said, at that time I was trying to win ball games. I was always a Hurricane fan, and who they got at that time, because I was spending Saturdays and Sundays breaking down film myself. Yeah. But anyhow, the reason I love coaching football so much and the game is so many moving pieces, and it's like a car engine, right? Your car may not start if the battery doesn't work, but the battery may be fine. And then this is out. The starter didn't work. There's so many different little things for the engine not to work, right? Right. And so the same thing with Mark Pope. Maybe it is the scheme, right?
Right.
Maybe it is opportunities. Maybe it is the coaching on how to get open. Because in high school, even though he played, he was probably so much faster than everybody else. So back to that tool of 707, just to link this into this answer, how did he get better besides using just his speed? See, that's why I want to tie in the 707 to this is just because I'm faster than everybody else, that only works but so much, because when the DB is just as fast, then what? Because if you look at Pope, he has a separation issue. He can't get open. When I say open, I'm talking about separating from guys.
From a DB, right.
When you look at 7-on-7.
Yeah, because he was so much faster. So back to what I was saying previously, and even we talked off camera about honing in on your skills, using 707. Yes, I want to win these trophies, and I get that.
Right.
But I also want to add tools to my tool belt. I can't use a screwdriver for every task. Sometimes I need a hammer. Sometimes I need a chisel. Sometimes I just need some tape. Right. And so that's what I'm trying to say is that I can't use the same tool for every task. And if that's all you have in your tool belt, then that's easy to stop. Right. So that's what I'm trying to say with him. We got to get better at what we're doing. Even when kids practice, a lot of kids practice. We talked when I asked you earlier, Streeter, about getting better. You said, well, why do you do it to get better? You said, well, why are they doing it? This is what I'm saying. When you go to practice every day, yes, you want to win in practice, but you also have to hone in your skills, use a different release, find out how to stem this guy. That's what practice is for. You understand? And so that's, I think, my issue or my thing with Pope is, and Harley and the rest of those guys, is do they fit within the scheme? And my next question is, are they the dog we think they are?
Harley showed us something this year. He kind of had a little breakout season. Knowing these kids, man, from when they were this big, Hayes, when I look at them, when I look at them, they're sort of broken, bro. Like when I look at Wiggins, when I look at Pope now, you know what I'm saying? They're sort of broken, and it hurts me, you know what I'm saying? Because the mentoring me, you know what I'm saying, wanting to see them succeed. But I can see it. I can see it in their face, because their dream of going to the NFL is coming to a halt fast. And that's after 16, 17 years of being the man.
That's right.
And that pressure starts coming down on you. You know what I'm saying? It starts coming down on you. So, like you said, there is a lot of different parts that go to it. Mark Pope does have a problem getting open.
I think all of our receivers have a problem except Brevin Jordan at some point. But I think all of our, when I really look, and I've said this before, this year, since I've been coaching, is the first year I really analyzed the Canes. I was just a fan because like I said, trying to win ball games. I didn't have time to look at it. I'm just a fan. So I'm watching the game. Most of the time the game is on and I'm over here looking at huddle film, trying to get prepared or creating game plans. So I watch it, but I didn't watch it. You understand? Right. I'm watching it now. And that's our biggest issue. You tell me, how in the world does a guy, let's go back to it, Devontae Smith, get wide open? He's the Heisman winner. Everybody know what the batters do in the field, and he's got 10 yards before the first DB is on him. He's got separation, whether it's scheme or whether it's player. And I've always said this. If a player can't create separation, the scheme must create separation. And that's just that simple. If a player cannot create separation through his route running, right? For example, if you're playing man right now, you go very perfect about scheme. If I'm playing man right now, Pope is my number one target, and he can't get open by himself in man, then he lacks skill in his release, right? Whether it's stemming the receiver, so forth and so on. So now if I know that, Streeter and Logan, what do I have to do now? I have to create it through the scheme. How do I create it through the scheme? Maybe I create some kind of pick route, some kind of conflict. I have to do something in there. All right. I have to find different ways in order to create. The scheme has to now get him open. Does that make sense what I'm saying, Logan? Because we just lost Streeter for a second.
Oh yeah, absolutely it does. And I don't know. This is definitely opinion based because I'm not around to have that I guess, knowledge, but I feel like, when Mike Harley came out and just kind of held himself accountable in the whole receiver room, we noticed his game change real quick. And I just feel like him showing that and then displaying it on the field shows that maybe other guys just personally being responsible and accountable for what they not only do in practice, but what they do outside of practice is reflecting on the field also. And obviously it's going to go into coaching too, which I hold just as responsible. But I just feel like that's a reflection on things.
But do you think that in that press conference, remember he said that we're going to practice? What did he say exactly? Because I don't remember that we didn't practice as hard as we could have and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, exactly.
That's a him thing. I mean, it is part of coaching. That is part of coaching. Now, don't get me wrong. That is part of coaching. Well, yeah, you got to create the culture. And that's what I believe Manny Diaz's biggest hump is. He has to create the culture to hold people accountable, because when we went on that show, and I believe I was on that show with Brad Trajada, if I'm saying his name right. Apologize if I said it wrong. He brought some guys on. He brought Tolbert Bain and a couple of guys. And Tolbert Bain was talking about how they kept each other accountable. And I asked one of the young men, Big Q, on there. He plays DN, and I said, between Roche and Phillips, what is one of the top advice they gave you that you can remember? And he started talking about play stuff, right? He was talking, and I understand he's a young man, right? But he was talking about, use your hands, this, that, and the other. But that's not where I was going. I asked him that question specifically to find out, not about the plays, but more about the culture. Hey, man, make sure you give your all. Hey, man, make sure you hold this person. Those are the type of things. And I think that's an issue in the Hurricane locker room right now, too, is the culture of accountability.
Right.
And because it takes nowhere in the world a guy like Harley come out to a press conference and say that.
Right.
Like that is damning. That is. He basically said, what is exactly happening? There's no accountability. Every man for himself. I'm employee number 9. I'm employee number 17. I'm employee number 53.
Right.
So I have another question. It's kind of a two-part question. And like I said, this is just for my knowledge, because I know y'all got it. It's an honor to talk to you too, Streeter. I've been a big fan, watching, retweeting, following, members, like everything, man. So being able to talk to you is just honorable. But I have a question about the linebackers. I mean, it's kind of black and white. It goes back to when Shaq, Pinckney, and McLeod were freshmen together, and we kind of just maybe saw, I guess you can say, a regression in performance. But then even when you look at Perryman when he came to Miami, and then the Perryman when he left Miami, just the way he looked, like how he was built and conditioned and his strength, he just left a different man. And we have seen that from our linebackers, and I don't know how long. Maybe, I guess, just talk about that. And my last question, we can get going after this, if that's cool with y'all.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead and take that, Hayes.
About their regression?
Maybe, yeah, like the regression, and then everybody here. I love Denzel Perryman. He's one of my favorite linebackers come out of Miami in a long, long time. Mm-hmm. And that probably goes back to Spence until he gave up that play against Virginia Tech, and I was just so salty about it.
All right, I'm gonna make a thing. So when and you correct me because I may not know this. So when Perryman and those guys come in, who comes in as the defensive coordinator? Who was the defensive coordinator when they came in at that time? Do you remember?
Personally, I don't, unless you
know.
Who
was the coordinator in?
I don't know because like I said, I was coaching. So anyhow, I'm just going to bring this up. So, because that was on the Golden year. No.
That was Randy, right? That was Randy, beginning of Golden. The beginning of, was it D'Onofrio?
D'Onofrio with Golden?
D'Onofrio? Yeah, was it D'Onofrio?
Yeah. So anyhow, you guys can look that up while I say this. So here's what I'm going to say. If you don't keep your defense diverse in the coaching room, it's just my opinion. If you don't keep it diverse in the coaching room, and you don't keep adding new wrinkles and new nuances and little things that make it different, these coaches are not stupid. They got tons of resources. They got guys studying all that stuff. They have all of that kind of stuff, right? Once the new car smells wears off on your defense, then what? So here's what I'm saying to you. Listen to what I'm saying. As those guys came in as freshmen, and correct me if I'm wrong, the defense was new, the scheme was new, teams were learning who these guys were. As it went on, and I'm only speculating this because I don't know who even the guys were, did the defense remain the same schematically? If it did, these offenses got better because they remember what didn't work. They go because what we do is, as a coach, you're going to look at the games that you played, right? So you're going to look at the 3 games of the season prior to you playing them. But you're also going to go back and look at your game from the previous year. You're going to find out what worked, what didn't work. It's called self-scout. Now that you do that, you can now exploit what didn't work because you see it better because it's not new anymore. So when I go 3-by-1, oh, they like to go cover 3. Just saying. I don't know if that's a fact, but whatever. They like to go cover 3. Well, what I'm going to do, I'm going to run my cover 3 beaters, or I'm going to run power to the weak side or whatever that is to beat cover 3. When I go 2-by-2, they're going to do this. So now it becomes predictable. Therefore, the guy's play goes down. Does that make sense what I'm saying? Does this kind of make sense what I'm saying, guys?
Yeah. Yeah.
Because back to what I was telling Coach Phil, the offensive playbook is infinite. Right. It goes on for infinity. I can easily install a brand new play with a wrinkle in it that works off of my base play and create a whole new look for a defense. But a defense basically has 5 coverages. That's it. Right. You can only blitz, but so many. You can only blitz the A gap, B gap, C gap, or outside alley D gaps. You can't create a new gap to blitz.
Right.
Like, so what I'm saying is the defense is handcuffed in the sense of what they can and can't do. And so when you start showing, when you do this, and there's some defenses that say when they run trips, we check this. When they go 2-by-2, we check that. When they do 3-by-1 and go motion, we check this. And these guys are not stupid. These coaches are not stupid. And they know how to manipulate, and they know how to do those type of things. And that's just my assumption to maybe what happened in their regression.
But I think Denzel Perry, man, like when you get a Denzel Perry, man, you get a Denzel Perry. I think, I don't think Shaq Pickney, none of them were Denzel Perry, man.
But guess what? Denzel got it worse because here's the deal. If I know Denzel that dog,
right,
I'm finna send dogs at him. I'm finna send 2 or 3. I'm not gonna let him get. See, that first year and we can always go back and, as they call them in football, do a study and go look at his previous games and look at the blocking scheme. Maybe it was one guy going to get him. Maybe now it's 2 coming to get him and chip him. Right? Because when you go against a dog, your best dog ain't gonna. You ain't gonna let your best dog beat you. You understand? Right.
Listen,
so that's just
he said he a Denzel Perry fan, right? Quick story, man. Listen. Duke Johnson first day on campus, right? I'm riding with the family. I got the camera in the car. I lost all the footage, man. It's horrible. But we walk on campus, right? So we go talk to Hurley. Hurley give Duke his room. So we walk in the room, right?
Hurley Brown.
Hurley,
I'm gonna get him on the show too.
We walk in the room, little tiny room, and somebody's laying in the bed. And he turned around, he get up, he got his shirt off. He get up with his shirt off with his back to us, man. He get up and say, "Oh man, my bad, man. Let me put my shirt on." And man, listen, Duke mom looked at him and said, "Oh my!" And it was Denzel Perry. Man, the man was Diesel, fool. You know what I'm saying? And it was Denzel Perry.
Oh, what did mom say? Mom say, "Oh my!"
Duke mom wild, man. She wild, man. Listen, if we wasn't there, fool, I don't know what would happen. She was like, "Oh."
That's funny, man. That's funny.
Yeah, that was Duke first. That was his.
Now,
first.
Pyramid, what did he play? He played at Coral Gables, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was his first. That was his first roommate. But no, man, Pyramid is something special. Pinkney, Mike, those guys came in. They were too. But my question is with Pinckney, it looked like they as freshmen, they were as good as they were going out the door as seniors. And then that's when we started talking about the word development, Hayes, and kids getting better and all that stuff. You know what I'm saying? It seemed like we saw them at their height when they were younger.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And so that goes back to what I'm saying is that because they were the new car smell, nobody knew what they could really do. Now that I got a year under my belt going against these guys, okay, they like do this. Now I got 2 years under my belt with these guys. That's what I'm saying. You don't see it. You have to create it. I'm gonna go back to this right here, Logan and Streeter. If Devontae Smith lines up as a regular wide receiver out there just in the slot and just runs off the ball and does what he does, and they don't use motion and they don't use different things, he doesn't have the game he has in the national championship. He doesn't.
No.
He doesn't have that game, even being the Heisman Trophy winner. He does not have that same game because they found a way to get Ohio State said, we're going to double this dude. They doubled him.
Yeah.
And Sark said, yeah, y'all could double him, but I'm finna find another wrinkle to get him out of this double team. If they would have just let him come off the ball and run the post, he would not have had the game in which he had. They would not. He would not have had that.
Do you remember the wide receiver Pittsburgh Steelers had that lit up the Super Bowl that year? I think it's Santonio Holmes, number 10, I think he was.
Yeah, from the crib, from Belglade. Caught in the back of the end zone.
They couldn't stop him, right? So I go to 24 Fitness one night, and Terrell Owens is in there playing basketball, 12 o'clock at night. And I asked him, I said, bro, listen, how does Santonio Holmes constantly get open when the other team knows we're finna go to Santonio Holmes? And he said what you just said. He said scheme. It's the scheme. They're scheming to get him open, and they're out, basically they're out coaching the defense. Like he's outsmarting him, and we're getting him open. Mm-hmm. And it was as simple as that. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, as simple as that.
Because your playbook is infinite. Defenses have rules. If I'm in cover 2, I got the flat. You got the safety over the top. Yeah, you can add a little couple wrinkles, but the nuts and bolts of a defense is what they are. Like I said, I can find different ways. I can put you on the slot, right? I can shift on, motion this guy all the way across. It changes everything. But all I did on offense was move one guy. And here go the worst part. Then once I motion him over and find out what you in, I'm going to motion him back the way he was and let's run the same play.
Bro, listen. Lane Kiffin was bringing Elijah Moore out the backfield this year. Led the SEC in receiving. He was coming out the backfield, bro. It's cheating. You want to know why?
Because who's got to cover him?
The linebacker. Right.
Your playbook is infinite. Like I can't take my linebacker and move him to safety. I may be able to move him to D line maybe, but I can't take my Mike linebacker and say, "Hey, I'm gonna move you to safety."
Right.
I mean, you can do that. Let me put that. It's not sound.
Do you ever think? I don't. This might be a stupid question.
Hold on, my bad, Streeter. Logan, I know you still on here, man. You good?
Yeah, bro, I'm getting educated.
Okay. I'm sorry.
I'll go. I like it.
Yeah. But yeah, man, one more thing, man. I got to get up out of here, man. But I talk sometimes about the linebacker position, right?
Mm-hmm.
Do you think the linebacker position will ever kind of fade? And when they start going bigger DB that can cover somebody, like sort of what we kind of do with the Fire, right? But like I said, Lane Kiffin puts Elijah Moore in the backfield. Now we're talking 7-on-7 now. Here we go. Hey, we're talking 7-on-7 because who's going to guard him?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Can I tell you that it's already moving that way?
Right.
The Zach Thomases, the Ray Lewis would not be Ray Lewis if he played football today.
Hell no.
Right.
He wouldn't. I'm sorry. You know who would be your Mike linebacker today? You know who's your Mike linebacker? You know who this Mike linebacker is today? What's my man with the hair and the shampoo commercials from the Steelers?
Palomalu. Right.
No, I'm saying those are the type of guy because the game is so spread out.
Right.
There's so. I mean, five wide was always left up for prevent. I mean, like 2 minutes and those type of things. There's guys who master 5 wide, 4 wide. You know, The eye back is basically obsolete. I mean, look at what we call tight ends today: Brevin Jordan, Kyle Pitts.
Right.
The guys ain't tight ends.
Aaron Hernandez.
These guys the same size as Andre Johnson.
Right.
Think about it. If we recruited Andre Johnson today, we would have him. He would be the Brevin Jordan role.
Yeah. Look at Camille Brantley. Look what we just brought in. Camille Brantley. Yeah.
From the West. Yeah.
Right.
So what I'm saying is, so to answer your question, yes. Now I'm gonna tell you where it gets a wrinkle. When whoever decides to start going back to the I-back formation and the two-back, because now those backfields are getting lighter and the linebackers are getting lighter, and now I'm going to start pounding this thing down your throat. See, that's how the game goes. Offense changes, defense catches up.
Right.
So now the defense, I'm back there with Zach Thomas in the big old neck roll. And they start going 4 wide. And he out there. Right? I'm just being real. So now the Dolphins and whoever, not just Dolphins, but whoever has to say, man, I got to get that guy that can run with the number 3 receiver.
Right.
So what do? That's when this whole 4-2-5 and all this stuff, all that is the nickel back. The striker for us is nothing but a nickel back. He's a 5th defensive player, defensive back.
Right.
There's nothing new. He still plays the same responsibility as the old school Sam backer played. But he is now the nickel back because his skill set can handle the 4th wide receiver.
Right.
So now that's what's happening. That's why you hear, we should run a 4-2-5 or 4-3. If I put 11 X's on the board right now, Streeter, you couldn't tell me if I was in a 4-2-5 or a 4-3. You couldn't tell me. If I just put X's on the board, not telling you who these people were, you couldn't tell me what I was in. So when people start,
until you see the personnel, right.
Until I see the personnel.
Right.
And that's it. So that's what I'm just trying to say. So yeah, you run a 4-3. I would tell you I run an even defense or I run an odd defense. So I just wanted to say that out, put that out there. Let me see. Derek Carroll says no one practicing our formation straight lead anymore. You're right. And for the teams that do, they're getting big yards because everything is perimeter runs.
What does Alabama run? Alabama recruit the biggest offensive lineman. They get the biggest running back, and they maul you down.
But they stopped that. Look at the offensive late. Since Jalen Hurts came in, look how their offense has changed. He was one of the last ones to change the eye back. The SEC always did that. You remember when what's my man? I always forget his name. With the white hat and eat the grass from LSU. He just got suspended from Kansas. Les Miles. They will always have that 2-back look, right? Uh-huh. Remember they used to run the pitch lead. You remember that? They would pitch it and you run the lead right up your behind. I'm just saying, so Nick Saban has finally gotten out of that. And somebody just said that Bama has evolved a little bit. And Alabama has come to the point, which I thought I would never see. Look at all the points Alabama gives up. They win in games 50 points, but it's 50-29, 50-24, 50-33. They're not shutting people out anymore. You notice that?
Yeah. Well, because these offenses, man, these offenses are they running a bunch of plays. Like these offenses are
but that's my point. Mm-hmm. That's my point. So if Nick Saban would have stayed with that old defense, he would have been asleep. He's got thinner guys that's barely holding on at 30-something point. Because you look at Alabama, you say to yourself, Ole Miss, what's my man? Hayes?
Lane Kiffin.
Lane Kiffin. Mm-hmm. Lane Kiffin lighting it up. Luckily, they just scored more points than they did.
Throwing his playbook in the air, man, we're getting loose out there.
But I'm just saying, like they people are put. So when you look at the almighty Alabama, they still getting scored on. But people don't realize that's the new age of football, bro. I can't tell you last time I saw a shutout game in Power 5 football. I'm saying a true shutout.
Right.
One, the game is not designed that way with the penalties and so forth. That's another topic. But that's just how the game is. It's fast paced. It's let's go right now. Blah blah blah. you know, and a lot of defenses are playing bend but don't break football, man. But I'm not gonna hold you, man. I know you got to go street. I got to go too. I got to get on the road tomorrow, man. Logan, thank you again, man, hanging in there with me. And I'm gonna cut these phone lines.
Last one.
Go for it. No, you good? Go for it.
The best linebacker next season and why? Mine is Sam Brooks and Central Michigan, and his performance when he's finally on the field speaks for itself. I think we have a lot of linebackers with great potential, but I just think Sam Brooks, anytime he's been on the field, has been proven that he deserves more time, but for whatever reason, he wasn't getting it. Obviously, there were some injuries that I heard about. Not very knowledgeable on that, and y'all can educate me on that too. But who do you guys think is really going to make that next step and just stand out at the linebacker position?
You said minus Sam Brooks. I think Sam Brooks is a hell of a football player. I think he's learning how to play in traffic, and you can see it. And is he getting taught the right way? I don't know. But I think he's learning how to play in traffic. He's never played middle linebacker. He always was on the end in youth football or high school. So now he puts on weight to be a middle linebacker, but he has to learn how to play a middle linebacker. So it looked like Flagg and Jennings are fighting to be the number one middle linebacker. Yeah, Sam Brooks, he's learning a position, bro. And I don't know, Hayes, can he learn how to play middle linebacker? That's something got to be in you or what?
Yeah, you can learn. You can learn how to play middle linebacker if you have the tools, right? If you have it. And I'm just gonna say this on a sad note. Bro, why we're the University of Miami and we're getting hybrid guys to do, you know what I mean? Why are we not recruiting these guys? Just like what's the kid name out of Lowndes County? Thomas Davis, I believe his name is. Yeah. He's his highlight tape is 3 technique and defensive end, and we're recruiting him as a linebacker, and we don't run a 30 front.
I asked Blake Baker. I asked him.
I don't understand. I don't understand why we're getting these. Back to what I was saying, we think we can make somebody something.
Yeah, I asked him. I said, is that a normal thing for colleges to recruit outside linebackers and make them middle linebackers? Is that something that you guys are trying to do on purpose? And he said that there aren't a lot of true linebackers basically in Florida, in the area. He said that. Listen, it's on video. He said it in the press conference. He said there aren't middle true linebackers, and it's a normal thing to take ends to take ends in high school and make them linebackers.
We're making a linebacker a defensive end right now.
Can I say this? And I don't normally do this because I believe in the coaching fraternity. I'm just gonna say something. That's some BS.
Yeah, I think so.
If you're gonna tell me you're gonna bring a guy from being down to standing up to a backer, and I just told you the game is getting faster, instead of taking a guy like a Amari Carter and put him down. Because here's the deal. This is what you have to understand. People still passing the ball, bro.
Right.
You're gonna take a guy that's got his face in the dirt to stand up to cover in space when he plays in a very restricted area where he's used to getting 3 technique, double team here, and now you're taking him to an entirely different skill set. Now, if he would have said, you know what, if he said, you know what, Streeter from Footballville, you're absolutely right, and that's why we take safeties and we bring them down because the skill sets overlap. Where this safety will reduce in the box at times, so he's played more in that box, so he's kind of used to it, and he's playing standing up with his eyes here. That makes sense. But you go watch his highlight tape. He has not one, look at my finger, not one clip of him standing up as a linebacker. I'm not talking about a defensive end rushing off the edge. I'm talking about as a middle linebacker reading, reacting.
Right.
Yeah, but I feel like maybe a linebacker is more so a coaching problem when you got, I'm not going to hate or talk no trash, but Ryan Rigoni, you know what I'm saying? Like when you see stuff like that, it just makes you scratch your head. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I didn't like that answer, Streeter. And I know what you're saying too, Logan.
No, nobody likes that answer. Everybody who I tell that to.
That's my biggest concern next year, linebacker.
So we finna tell me, I'm gonna get off here with this, man. I'm finna go pack my stuff and burn up this turnpike because you finna tell me we finna get a 3 technique to go out here and cover the number 3 wide receiver in like a Devontae Smith. We finna get a dude. We finna ask this guy to come to the University of Miami so you can cover based on what they tell me. Now I'm just talking about what they labeled him as a middle linebacker. Hey man, I want you to cover this guy, and we at the pinnacle of college football, right? This ain't Johnson C. Smith.
Right.
We talking about the University of Miami, major college football, and we want this guy that's never done it before. The learning curve against him is so great that I'll be surprised if he ever excels.
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, they're losing the middle linebacker battle, man. Like all these middle linebackers they go after, they're losing the recruiting battle on these middle linebackers. I think they're gonna start looking at transfer portal, bro. That's what I think.
My man, Carol, there you go. Got to get oversized safety and put him at linebacker nowadays. Yes. And Pump Gauges says, he said, that's your 707 tie-in. Talking about, yes, that's it. You're exactly right, bro. Yeah. That's why I said you got to sharpen our skill. I understand a bigger safety. We're going to start a whole nother conversation about this James Williams. This dude is not going to be in the backfield. If he is, they're doing him a disservice, bro. He is not playing 12 to 15 yards in the backfield at the University of Miami and be highly successful. From a coach's perspective and what I saw, and Street, we never talked about this, and I do want to say this. He is, what is he? You've seen him in person, correct? You've seen him and talked to him. And did you interview him as well?
I've seen him since he was 8 years old.
Okay. How big is he literally? Talk to me.
How big they say he is?
6'5", 220.
In person, he looks 6'7", 215 or something. In person, he's huge, bro. He's huge.
He's going to get bigger.
Yeah, he is.
Naturally. I don't care if he ate Pop-Tarts every day and never went to a workout. He's still going to get bigger.
Right.
He's 18, still growing.
Right. So you're thinking what? You're thinking what? When you watch this film, you see what?
Okay, I don't see a free safety in today's game. He would have been a great cover 3 safety. A great cover 3 safety. Middle of the field, play the field, hash to hash, numbers to numbers, cover a lot of ground in a little bit of time. A great cover 3 safety. Because the cover 3 safety is not necessarily responsible for the run until it commits itself. Here's where my problem lies with him.
I'm gonna jump out of here.
Go ahead, Logan. I'm sorry, man. We talking away, man. Thanks a lot, man. I appreciate you.
I got Uncle Sam problems tomorrow, so.
Oh, and hey, man. Uncle Sam wants you, not me. So I'll see you later, buddy. Be good, man. Be safe out there, buddy.
Much love. Thank you guys for all you do.
Yeah, appreciate you, man. Thank you, man, for your service. All right, my man Logan is in the military, so thank you for your service, Logan. But anyway, back to what I was saying is, he is not, and I'm gonna bring up what you're saying, KC Cruz. What I saw in his film when I broke it down, I've said this before. If I had to recruit him, I would definitely recruit him. I'm not knocking his talent at whatsoever. I'm talking about maximizing his potential, Streeter.
Yeah.
Getting the best out of the young man. I'm not saying he can't play this game. He definitely can play this game. Right. He definitely can be an impact player. But we're talking about maximizing his potential. So my thing is, we don't see him covering anybody in man coverage. I think he has one play he's out there at corner, but I think it's him just jacking the dude up. You know what I'm just saying? Like, I'm just talking about showing significant skill set.
Right.
Okay. These offenses, like we said, are getting smarter. They're going to find out who can and who cannot cover. I'm not saying he cannot cover.
Right.
I have not seen him cover.
Right.
The same way I'm talking about Thomas Davis. I'm not saying he can't play middle linebacker. I have not seen him play anything at middle linebacker. So I'm saying all that to say this, and he's naturally going to get bigger. He's 6'5". You saying he looks 6'7", so I'll just say he's 6'6".
Right. He's huge, man.
215 pounds. We know the freshman 15 is coming, whether it's fat or muscle, but it's coming. So he's gonna end up being 230 something, right?
Yeah.
Can I tell you my honest opinion? I know I'm straight being biased, and y'all don't want to hear this, and he may not even want to do this. But if he want to go get paid, Streeter, let me talk into this microphone. If he want to go get paid, put your hand in that dirt and go get a quarterback, baby. A 6'7" dude, 230. He could probably walk out at 250. He's got the mobility. He's got the agility to be a difference maker. $100 million contract waiting when you get out of college. But it ain't sexy. That's the problem. And I don't know the young man. Never talked to him, never met him, never tweeted him, nothing.
Right.
But that ain't sexy.
You want to put him down that end.
Go get that money. Go get paid. It's a passing league now. Who are the only dudes making $100 million right now in the league? No, I'm asking a question. Who's the only guys making $100 million in the league right now?
Ooh, quarterbacks and ends?
That's it. And now the three techniques.
Yeah.
As good as Antonio Brown was, he only got 70 million.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, he only got 70.
He said he'll do whatever to help the team now. I don't know if he's going to go put his hand in the dirt. I'm gonna tell you this, Hayes. I'm gonna tell you this. Mm-hmm. I known him since he was 8. My uncle coached the team. He played on the youth football team. They never lost a game for 6 years. And they had a kid on the team named Palomalu. He was a star of the team. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. He was a star of the team. He just graduated from Carol City. And my uncle will always say, bro, listen. Every year, he would tell me the same thing. It was like deja vu. Mm-hmm. James Williams is the man on that team. He would always whisper that to me, right? With little kids. You know what I'm saying? And to watch James grow up and the horrible story he has with his dad killing his mom.
Wow, I know that.
He has a crazy story. I think he's capable, Hayes. I think he's one of those athletes that's capable to do anything you want to do. I think he's that good of a talent. Is he smart enough to say, "Hey, man, coach, put me at let me go ahead and play in"? And you know how these kids are. I don't know if he's smart enough to do that now. Maybe let's see where he grows into in 2 years and where he goes mentally. Mm-hmm. But I understand what you're saying. Who's going to block him up there?
He's got a skill set. He's quick. All I'm just trying to say is I am with you 1,000%. He is the man. He is the man. But I'm going to ask you a question. He's the man because he's the best talent on the field, right? At that time, we're talking about Pop Warner, even high school.
Yeah.
But everybody in college is the man. Was the man at their respective programs, high school program.
Yeah.
My question to you is, I'm just asking a question.
Uh-huh.
He's going to grow. I don't think people are understanding that.
You don't like the Reaper out there, right?
What I'm trying to say is I don't think people really understand. You have to remember, I'm looking at it from what these players eat. These players eat Cheetos, pickled eggs, and pizza every day.
Yeah.
He's ripped up at 215, 220. He's going to get on the right training table, the correct weight room. Even American Heritage, as beautiful it is, I guarantee they're not doing the same exact weight program that the University of Miami has.
No, listen. They put 30 pounds on Greg Russo in like 2 months.
You just told you stole my point. Don't steal my point, Streeter. Don't you do it. Don't you do it. Don't you do it. Don't you. Matter of fact, I'm going to hit you right now. Don't you do it.
Right.
He's going to get, so you just told my point. I'm looking at him right now. Russo attended Champagnat Catholic School. I didn't know that. He played defensive end, safety, and wide receiver.
Yep. Looked like a basketball player.
That's what I'm pointing. He's 6'7", 265 pounds. He's going to get bigger. And what I'm saying, think about what I'm saying. I'm talking about the future. That ain't what you want to do. I'm talking about what you need to do.
Yeah. Right.
Bro, you want to get $100 million? Find me a safety right now making $100. You find me a safety making $50 million.
But bro, listen, how many times? What was Duke Johnson, a running back or a cornerback?
Duke?
Yeah.
A running back, by all means. He could play cornerback, but he was a legit running back.
Cornerback. Where was the money at for Duke? Duke could have played cornerback and got money.
I don't know. I ain't gonna lie to you. I think here's my thing. I think he's more dynamic. He's more dynamic at running back. I understand. Yes, he could have played it, but I'm gonna say this about Duke. I think he would have been an above average corner. He's an elite running back. That's the difference.
What I'm saying is how many times do these kids make that transition that you're saying? That he's for the money. How often does it happen that James, who wants to be a safety, wants to roam around, because he's very smart when it comes to he's cerebral, and that's what a lot of people don't know about him. How many times do the kids be like, hey man, listen, man, the money right here, I'm gonna go ahead and get this money?
No, I'm not saying about the money. I'm even talking longevity. See, I'm talking big picture here. I'm not. The money is a piece. Maybe that would entice. And this is just my personal opinion. This is not a knock.
Listen, you know how many people I don't heard say this about him?
No, I'm trying to give you some fact. I'm not just talking because I don't know what they use to prove their point, Street. I'm talking about why he should do it. I'm not saying he should do it because he's gonna get bigger. Only I'm saying he should because he's going to get bigger, and this is why. I'm saying that what I don't want to see happen, and I don't want people to look at this as hate. I want you to look at it as being proactive in decision making. I don't want to see him get exposed because of something he can't help, which is size. Imagine his big behind trying to cover a Devontae Smith, bro.
Well, yeah.
But he's going to have to do that at some point in the game. Look at Bubba Bolden. He can't cover. I'm just saying, and Bubba Bolden he can't cover them guys. They too shifty. I'm just trying to talk about skill set, what I see. I wish he the best. But look at Greg Russo. He walks out. It would probably be a first-round draft pick. Yeah. But he could get away being a safety and a wide receiver in high school. Because you know why? There's a team full of these jokers out there. Poor little Timmy's. And guess what? He the most gangster dude out there. Poor little Timmy. Let me give you my shameless plug. Go right down below the comment section. You can pick up your Poor Little Timmy merchandise. Use Canes 10 to get 10% off on all merchandise. So back to what I'm saying. Oh, hold on. Carol said, what's the number to call in? Man, we got to go, Carol. Carol, you my dog, man. You know I love you, man. I'm going to put it up there right there, Carol. What's the number to call in? Boy, that Carol, boy.
No, listen, I've heard plenty of people say that he should put his hand in the dirt. And, bro, listen, once he put on those 20 pounds, I don't know what he's going to look like. Him running around in the backfield and he's 6'6", whatever, man, 230, I don't know what he's going to look like. But I just don't think it is. Carol, I just opened up the line for you. I just don't think that it is plausible at this point. A cover 3 corner, oh my God, he's a godsend. But the teams can't play. You can't sit back there because if you look at him in the field, that's what he's playing, center field. He's snatching fly balls. He has a great skill set with his hands. His catching ability is second to none, bro. He's scooping them off the ground. But guess what I didn't see? I don't see him breaking on balls as a safety because he's not a free safety. We're going to make him a strong safety like Amari Carter. But he's not. He's got to cover in at least space. He's not breaking on those balls. Now, KC just told me, Coach, you need to go see his high school senior film. I'm asking you. I have not seen it. I cannot find it. I've had this conversation before. If you know where it is, if I can log into their huddle account, I promise I won't change anything. I just want to see because he has not posted his senior highlight film. I have two full games of him playing, bro, live. You can go watch the whole game. But they're not from the top, though. You know what I'm saying? It's me from the side.
See, I gotta see. I gotta see because I'm looking at it from a coach perspective. Man, Carol, how you gonna? Man, boy, Carol, my dog, he ain't gonna call in, but he ain't messing with you, man. But I'm just saying, that's all I'm saying, bro. Like, I want to see his film, and I will be the first. I will make a live show apologizing to this young man. I will call him. I don't even know why I'm apologizing because it's an opinion, but I still will apologize because I don't want it to seem like I'm a naysayer. That's not my point. I'm looking at it from maximizing the potential of a great athlete that can play.
Okay,
he has the tools.
Okay, so
Like,
listen.
this nigga went way off the rails of 707.
The people in the comment section are usually smarter than me. You know what I'm saying? So listen, you're saying he's going to be how big? 6'6", how big? 240.
If you say he's 6'6" right now, because again,
6'5", 6'6", yeah.
Let's just say I'll take the lower end, 6'5".
6'5".
He's 6'5" right now.
And they're gonna put on how much weight?
He's what, 215?
Yeah.
By the time you walk out in 3 years, 4 years, depending on what he's doing. If they're trying to keep him at safety, they're gonna cut him to keep him lean, try to keep him lean as possible. But naturally, he'll probably gain 20 pounds.
So he's 235 now. 6'5", 235. Are there any safeties out there? Who are we talking about? In the comment section, let me know. Who we talking about? Anybody out there? We've seen. Give me some names. We've seen it. We've seen in the league. That big. Anybody remember Hayes? What's the kid name that played at Seattle? How big was he?
I don't know. I don't know.
I know that they're gonna let us know what they're gonna give us some names. That played on the Seattle defense with Russell Wilson. What was his name?
They got a George.
He said no safety.
George Yoko, 6'4".
Atwater wasn't that big.
Man, that's back in the day when your pads was 30 pounds.
Let's see.
Cam Chancellor.
Yeah. How big was Cam Chancellor?
Pull it up right now. 6'3", 230.
That's pretty big, Hayes.
It is big.
You're right. Yeah. No, you're right. Listen, I think James is an extraordinary athlete, bro. I mean, people. He's an extraordinary athlete. Can we see him do it? I don't know. What you're saying, you're right. What you're saying is correct. Until we saw Shaq, we didn't know Shaq. Until we saw Wilt Chamberlain, we didn't know who Wilt Chamberlain was. You know what I'm saying? Until we saw LeBron, we didn't know where LeBron was coming from.
Yeah, but Wilt Chamberlain wasn't playing point guard. That's my point. But that's my point. Shaq wasn't out there playing point guard.
But LeBron is.
But the game, you prove my point. The game changed. Yeah. The game has changed.
Right.
That's my point. Imagine if you would have put Magic Johnson, because of his skill set, could play point guard.
Right.
But because he had a skill set. Right. That's what I'm trying to say. In my eyes, and nobody has disputed me yet. Out of all these things I put on here, nobody ever said that they see James Williams playing man defense like that. Because you're in college, you're going to have to play man at some point in this game.
Right.
At safety. At some point, you are going to have to play at some point.
Right.
And we talk about Steve Atwater. Again, the game was different. Cover 3 safety, downhill, fill the box. When last time you seen Steve Atwater covering Jerry Rice? Steve Atwater was known for banging up Christian Okoye in the hole. Steve Atwater wasn't known for covering cats.
How big was Steve Atwater?
They got 220 plus, they say on here.
I don't know, bro. We no. I mean, there's no evidence of anybody doing.
Even in college, forget NFL. Name me a college safety that's like that. And we're talking about he's a true freshman. We're talking about a true freshman that's walking. Well, he's on campus now, but walking in at 215, 220.
He's not there yet. He's not there yet.
I can. Oh, he's not there yet. Oh, that's right.
Private school.
That's right. Private school. That's right. Yeah. Apologize. Yep. Private school. But anyhow, I'm just saying, I wish him nothing but the best. But baby,
no, I understand what you're saying. I've heard a few people say that.
Imagine we can go get a doggone a Chase Young type cat.
That's what it is. No. Listen, that if you were to get him to put his hand in the dirt, that's what it is. That's what it is.
It's, you know why it's not? Go back to what you said that changed my mind. You want to know why it's not sexy? It's not a sexy pick. Streeter, everybody wants the fame and the name, right? No, you know why nobody wants to play offensive line unless they're just a super big fat boy? Because your name only get called for two reasons: offsides and holding. It's not sexy. You know how many defensive linemen in the world should have played offensive line and would have had a 15-year career in the NFL?
Yeah.
But because it's not sexy, I want my name called. I know quite a few players. I'm not leave their name out. I'm not gonna do them like that. But I know quite a few players. And the only thing you get at offensive lineman is some ugly feet and some ugly fingers. Why do you think the offensive linemen play for 12, 15 years?
Right.
They don't have the labrum tears trying to run and tackle. All I have to do is, and I know it sounds easy, but it's harder than that. But stand in front of you. Once the ball is gone, let you go, jog down.
But this is the truth. This is the truth about offensive line. Eric Flowers blocked for Duke at New Orleans, and then he blocked for Duke at Miami.
That's right.
Duke was the most famous kid on the field at New Orleans and the most famous kid on the field at Miami.
Correct.
I sat at Duke House draft night and watched Eric Flowers, who was always in Duke's shadow, go first round, and we waited for Duke to go fourth round. That's the truth about offensive linemen. You understand?
Oh, but that's you're proving my point of exactly what I'm saying.
That is the truth about
you know how many guys could go be a first round pick, but because it's not pretty. So the same thing. No safety wants to be a linebacker. No linebacker wants to be a defensive lineman.
But think about that, Hayes.
And no defensive lineman wants to be an offensive lineman.
Think about that. Eric Flowers was in Duke's shadow the whole time. And on draft night,
to the fan base, not to the people that know the game.
But on draft, people that know the game don't matter. But on draft night, Duke watched his homeboy, whose name never gets called in the game, go 4 rounds before him. You know what I'm saying?
That always happens. Huh? Go look at the first round. You know who are first round draft picks typically? Quarterbacks, the people that need to protect the quarterback, and whatever that difference maker is, whoever that guy is.
Yeah.
That's it. You know what the Heisman Trophy is? That sexy stuff for the fans. You'll never have an offensive lineman be a Heisman Trophy winner.
No.
You have very rarely do you get defensive guys being Heisman Trophy winners. Who was the last one? My man from Michigan?
Woodson.
Rod Woodson.
Mm-hmm.
So all I'm just trying to say is at the end of the day, you're not gonna get those type of guys. It's not pretty. It's not sexy. And I've seen so many players. I'm a tight end, coach. You think you're a tight end because you want to catch the ball, but you're just a fat boy, and your daddy told you could catch. Well, you could go and be a defensive end. Bro, I had a kid on my team one time called I'm a tight end. Well, dog, we don't have no tight end set until we get inside the 5-yard line. I said Rod Woodson. Yes, Charles Woodson. I'm sorry. I said we get inside the 5-yard line. And I even made a deal with the kid. I said, bro, I'll even give you an eligible number. So when we get in there, I'll put you in. Now I'm a tight end. Why? Because they want to catch the ball. Why does everybody want to be a receiver before they're a corner? Because it's sexy.
Yeah.
That's what I'm trying to say. Most corners, if you go to ask them what they start off playing, wide receiver. So they find out they behind can't catch.
Yeah.
Or they did both, but they primarily a receiver.
Yeah.
Bro, I can look right now. I do all these WRE tapes. The majority of the kids, 99% of the kids that are going to college to play cornerback, 99% of their film is wide receiver.
Right.
Prime example, Malik Curtis for the Miami Hurricane. Oh, he a cornerback, coach. 99% of his tape is wide receiver. He got 2 plays on that corner, and we talking about he a cornerback. See, my thing is, I want to know what I'm buying. Right? Let me ask you a question, Street. You know what a Corvette is, right?
Yeah.
You know what it does. You know it's fast.
Right.
It's a great car. Would you still go put your money down before you test drove it?
No.
Why not? You know what it does. You know what they say it does. That's my point. You want to know what it does.
Well, we just took Tyreek Stevenson, right? At cornerback, right?
Which he's a striker.
He didn't play cornerback at Georgia.
I know he's a striker. Yeah, he's a nickelback.
Right. Georgia didn't put him at cornerback. I think they put him at cornerback that last game at the end when they probably was trying to keep him. But he's a freak athlete, and I believe he could play cornerback. But what you just said, like we didn't see him in college. You know what I'm saying?
Unless you're gonna put him as now they got a new. Look, I'm telling you, boy, these football guru guys kill me. Now the new name is not Nickelback. You know what it's called now? You know what the new name for the Nickelback is? I swear, boy. Sometime, boy, this game here, boy. You know that. I'm sorry, Streeter. Slap myself. I'm gonna get used to the new age. I'm sorry.
Yeah, man. You ain't getting no. You ain't getting no.
You know what the new name for the Nickelback is?
What?
The slot corner.
The slot corner. Because I heard X saying it the other day, and I was like, I was confused. Yeah, the slot.
The slot corner. So he can now play man. That's what the Nickelback was for. I'm telling you, bro. This game, I'm telling you, I need to coin a phrase and trademark it and dare somebody to try to use it. The slot corner. You're just gonna come up with a whole new position.
Nah, it's just jargon, man. That's what Snipes was talking about.
That's my point. And so when fans, oh man, we got a new slot corner. Come on, guys. We're not reinventing the wheel. Like I said on defense, the slot corner is not doing what the nickel did. The nickel has done what the Sam has done. They're doing the same job. They have a different skill set. That's it.
Right.
Hold on. I sent you. Okay, hold on. Exit 1 made me. I sent you James Senior film on Twitter, Hayes. Thank you, man. I want to see it. I will come on here and I would definitely I'm gonna look at it. I don't know what it is. Matter of fact, while we on here, I'm gonna pull it up just to make sure I see it. He said he sent it to me on Twitter. Thank you, man. I've been looking for it because I want to
watch it, man. Listen, as soon as you watch it, tell me what you think, man. I think the man is amazing. But
I do too.
230, 6'5", 230. That's gonna look crazy. You know what I'm saying? It is gonna look crazy. And like we said, I mean, we didn't come up with a name because we probably never saw it. But hey, listen, man, I gotta get up out of here, man.
Yeah, we gotta get out of here. Hey, I just got it from you, man. So I appreciate your exit 1 maiden date. Everybody on there, man. Thank you so much. We got the rambling. We start off with 7 on 7, talking about 11 on 11. We all over the place. Real quick, man. Let people know where they can find you, Streeter, when you do your shows and everything else.
Oh man, listen, man. Just type Footballville in Google, man. But nah, Instagram, Footballville Nation, Footballville on Twitter. Then you got Caneville 305 on Instagram. Then you got Caneville on Twitter, TikTok, Footballville, man. Just Footballville everywhere, man. And March 30th, man. Y'all know the 7 on 7 teams come out. We in Fort Myers. If you want to get the rest of the schedule, is on the Footballville Instagram, man. I appreciate you, big dog.
Nah, anytime, man. We're gonna chop it up right after this. But Mo Better said no morning breath in the morning. So I know that was some of the segment you were doing.
Yeah. Nah, we going in the morning, man. We're probably gonna go 9 o'clock in the morning, bro.
Okay, that's perfect, man. And when does your show come on the Footballville? When does it come? When does it air? When do you air those shows?
We shoot the Canevilles on Sunday, man, and we usually air them on Mondays and Wednesdays.
Okay, perfect, man. And for you guys, you know, we do our Hurricane show, the Canes Talk Live on Sundays, 7:30, 7 o'clock, I believe it. I'm going to start doing 7 o'clock. We do these shows typically on Thursday. I'm going to start getting back to WRE Live where I watch, react, and evaluate live. And Street, I'm going to need your help with that. I got to get some of these Canes on there, man. The Canes killing me. We break down the film of the actual player, and we talk about, I want to get into the mind of the player. What are they thinking on 3rd and 1? What is your mindset? So those are what we're going to get back to do doing those, as well as, I drop a video Monday through Friday, WRE, which is Watch, React, and Evaluate to the top talent in the nation. And for my Cane family, I can't only do Miami Hurricane fan. And
you practice that in the bathroom, boy? How you get to do that like that, man, dude?
What was that? Hey, boy. It's here, man. Look here. When you do these films every day, boy, it becomes second nature. You forget the name, but you can remember this. But I'm gonna say this though. Cane fans, since y'all we done turned it to a Cane thing. Y'all gotta help your boy out on these WRE videos. Cause I'm gonna just say this: Ohio State, Alabama, go look on there. They be killing us. Video be having 4,000-5,000 views. I do a Cane video, and I don't want to sound like I'm tripping, but I'm tripping. They got 1.2 videos on there for Cane stuff. I just did the running back Cody Brown, hot off the press. Guess what, man? Nothing. 1.4, something like that.
I told you what I think about it. I told you what I thought about that.
What about doing it?
Yeah, we talked about it. We talked about it. I get on the phone on that.
No, I'm just teasing. Look at it. I just did my man video right there, 2.8.
Yeah,
right.
And that's hot. That's hot news.
That's hot news. I did the Caden Martin, T. Martin's son, 3.1. I did the Alabama quarterback. He got 4.8 right here.
Right.
I did the quarterback that's going to Texas. 8,000. Come on, Cane fans. I love y'all to death. Let's put your boy over the mark, man. Do me a favor. We out of here. Hit the subscribe button. Hold up. Hit the subscribe button.
Boy, you wild.
Hit the notification bell. So you all will have all the latest content that comes out on this channel. Hey, and with all that being said, I appreciate you, man. Thank you so much. Any last words? And we out of here, man.
Nah, bro. Anytime, man. Y'all check us out. MakeAPlay7on7.com. I'm out.
Peace.
Yo.